Hey everyone. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Colleen with the 71. Thank you, my friend. Crimson Tide with the 70. How's everybody doing today? Uh had a sleepy creator in there too, being vile also. Oh yeah. Oh, they're extremely vile. If they want me to bring out the vault on them, I can. I mean, that person has a long embarrassing history. Um, yeah. Hey Chushu. I hope all the comments were screenshotted of good old Sleepy J over there. She's in for a very rude awakening. Hey, B. Tim, Stephanie, Electro, Roddy. It's funny because that person created a whole anti Brittany J channel. But she will suck ass of anybody that's going as somebody she dislikes. And then eventually what happens is they turn on her like they always do and always will. And then she now directed her audience to a channel that will, you know, go after her. It's really quite ironic. She hasn't learned this by now. She's so like she just can't think into the future. So it's ironic to see it happen. Electro, thank you for the super sticker. Hey Lolly, Shay B, Sony, Audrey, good morning to you. Good morning, Mia. Yeah, it's it's time to wake up. It is time to wake up. Right, it was all free. We call that poor insight. Yeah. Yeah, well, she was dreaming of better days. There's no reasoning with snakes. Their brains are the size of a pea. Oh, I agree. Oh, I agree. What's funny? After this filing was filed, I don't know if you guys remember it, but that lady actually came up on my panel and was like, "Oh, you don't deserve this. They only used you because of jurisdiction." And now listen to them because I wouldn't welcome her over here. Exactly, B fam. That's why that's all being recorded, and I'm going to have an amazing countersuit. Very confidently can say that. Thank you so much, Kenna. Thank you. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Felon Ellen, good morning. Janine, thank you so much. So glad to be here with the Melons. We're so glad to have you. And look at my girl Roddy with the 37 months. Dude, the Eagles are taking it all the way, Roddy. All the way. Proud Mimi, thank you. OG, the loon. Good old loon. The one that had a complete mental come about and was seen on screen, literally interacting with illegal, and then disappeared and came back like 100 pounds thinner, like nobody realizes what's happening. Once again, trying to ride my coattails. That one. Billy Sunday to 32 months. Thank you so much. Wow, Shaggy, thank you. Look at you guys starting it with all this love. Thank you so much, Shaggy. I know. I know. It's so funny too because she was just up here, Megan. Like, remember? But I wouldn't put her avatar on the screen. And she was like defending me. And then all of a sudden, like I said, because I wouldn't quite welcome her, but that's all right. These type of sociopaths always turn. You can't, they don't have loyalty to anybody. So, uh, sorry. Oh, look at this. Kenna, thank you so much. Granny, you're the best. Stay strong. We all got your back. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Sherry. Hold on. Let me turn my volumes down so that doesn't continue to happen. But we have some very interesting news, some movements going on, if you will. Thank you guys so much for that. Read my comment. Sorry. Let me go back up. Do, 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 do. I don't. I don't see your comment, Jamie. Oh, I seen it. Yeah, he reminds you of Pee Wee Herman. He certainly reminds a lot of people. Oh yeah, there's some very interesting news. Some very interesting, and we're gonna get movements. I do say, very interesting movements are being made. You know why? Because you don't play checkers, right? You don't play checkers, especially when you're playing with people who cheat. You got to be very calculated in your moves. You don't pull out all the stops and all the threats and kind of reveal your hand. You move, a little more calculated. The tables always turn. They always will. I don't know why anybody thought that. Well, I do know why, because of my jurisdiction. But it was thought because of my jurisdiction that I was going to be one to just kind of lay down and take this, but I'm not. So let me add this to my thing really quick and we will get right into it. One of the best things I did was um, retain the attorney that I currently have because not only is he familiar with RICO and all the laws pertaining to that, both on the civil and criminal side, he has actually done RICO cases, but he's also fully aware of everything taking place here. See, when I first received notice via YouTube, via Molly Golightly, that this was taking place, I started calling all different attorneys, and many of them had many different answers. Some said, this is going to cost too much. Some said, this is just so frivolous. Some said, I don't know what I can do. One said, Castor's on here, so we can't help you, which would be the company that is tagged in my stream today, which I will show you something pertaining to that in a moment. One guy said, I'm going to have my partner call you. I'm not good at these things. This isn't my category, but I have somebody who is. And a little bit later, my phone rang. And I knew right away by the Philly accent that this guy was a go getter. And he's like, I just spent, hours reading through this and blah, blah, blah. And he said, this is crackpot ramblings. Yeah, I just spoke to her, Vivian. So we stayed in touch. I gave him my YouTube channel. He was watching. The algorithm, not a RICO, will direct people that watch my channel, that watches other channels to their channels. But the problem was he was too expensive. And I couldn't. I couldn't afford him. So, long story short, I get those other guys. They don't really know what they're doing. It's what I get for trying to be cheap. It doesn't work out to be cheap. And he, in the meantime, is still in contact with me. And he finally, decide we work something out. And here we are today. And he's a boss. He's a go-getter. He's very damn good at what he does. And obviously he's done a lot more in his short time of being retained than the other guys did because he actually put his foot on Castor's neck. And that's why there's emails of Castor admitting that he's not representing these guys. And that's why they're all frantic over on X having hissy fits and doing all the things they're doing because this attorney has put his foot on their neck. So he got a little stronger with his foot last night. And we're going to jump into it in just a moment. We'll jump into it in just a moment. Look at that lovely. First, we're going to play a little game. We're going to be immature and play a little game. Can you name the characters on the screen? Hey, Whitebird. Hey, Jude. Hey, Jude. Hey, Alexis, I'm sorry. Darling Tammy. Good morning, pickle ass. I agree, Kelsey. I mean, we can make light of it, but it's not really funny, you know? Whoa, we got a winner. Miss Not Your Business. I see where you went with that. I mean, check it out. They got the same glasses, the $1,000 shoes. Who put a pickle in their ass? WTF? Why would anybody who's playing video games with kids have their username as pickle ass? It is a really good question, though, isn't it? Pickle ass. Anyway, let's be a little more serious because today is about these two. Because what they're doing is very serious. And I don't know about any of you, but there's nothing I hate more than absolutely despicable people who use their quote unquote power to try to strong arm people. So it just dawned on me, you know how everybody put a 1 in the chat if you recall everybody running around stating that Bruce Castor was the attorney for Trump, for President Trump. Put a 1 in the chat if you recall that. I tagged people on this stream because I want this stream to get out there. Lots of 1s in the chat. Well, I didn't realize that the whole company that Castor works for also represented.
Before the acquittal, that same
This is Michael van der Veen. Sound familiar? It's the company that Castor supposedly works with, although he's using a personal email for his frivolous games. Thank you, Lori. That's why some idiots signed up, right? They thought they had a legitimate thing.
Defense attorney drew laughter after he suggested that depositions happen right here in the city of brotherly love.
None of these depositions should be done by Zoom.
This is Castor's partner, Michael van der Veen.
We didn't do this hearing by Zoom. These depositions should be done in person, in my office, in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
That's where they should be done.
These guys were the laughingstock.
Should be done in person, in my office, in Philadelphia. That's where they should be done.
Philadelphia. So, you guys really hyped up these people, didn't you? I mean, I'm pretty sure we already showed this, but you know, let's do it again for just measure, just so we can make this all very clear.
Speakers. And I made some notes, and they'll hear about what I think about some of the things they said later when I'm closing the case. But I thought they were brilliant speakers, and I loved listening to them.
He's talking about the opposing side right now. Anybody who walks into a courtroom and starts licking the butt cracks of the opposing side, you don't trust.
They're smart fellows. The American people just spoke, and they just changed administrations. Spoke.
Mr. Castor also conceded a fact that Trump has been reluctant to admit.
And they just changed administrations. So in the light most favorable to my colleagues on the other side of the aisle here,
See? And that was the problem. These people are more worried about their colleagues than they were their clients. My attorney isn't. My attorney is not worried about licking enemies' butts, right, Scooter? Or pickle butts, or whatever you want to call them. They hyped up Dog, too. Dog didn't even make a declaration. So you guys, I would tell you why their 10 filings were denied, but I'm also not going to give them a heads up legally. Unfortunately, that's what happens when we don't even realize it, right? But for example, the other day when I was live and I pulled up the case law that they quoted, all I did was give them a heads up that that case law doesn't fit. So in a way, it's kind of being stupid to do things like that because they were denied, right? So that means they have to fix them. And all we did was give them the opportunity to fix it. So you got to be a little careful. And my attorney made me aware of that. So I do apologize. But let's hear what my attorney also made Castor aware of. Give me just a second here. I got a few things I want to pull up. Where is that? Okay, let me get this up here. So Castor got himself a new email. And this email also went to Van Deveen, the guy I just showed you on the screen that said Philadelphia. The whole law firm is now involved because you don't get to use a personal email when you work and represent an entire company. So my attorney sent out an email, and this one is interesting. Well, the problem is it's not attorneys writing this, B-Tim. We know that's the huge problem here. It's never been an attorney writing this. It's just like if you look, they started writing up their gibberish on the 9th, which is the same day that they were made aware that they had papers that were due. Like, we're kind of giving them a heads up a little bit, but we all know. Put a 1 in the chat if you don't believe that an attorney is writing this stuff up. There's just no way. There's just no way. And if they are, then they need to go back to law school. But the good thing is my attorney knows that as well. Not only does he know that by common sense, but he knows that because... All right, that made me laugh. Somebody messaged me a 1 instead of comment. I just seen a number 1 pop up in my message. All right, that was actually funny. Come into freaking chat, you goof. Let me drop this. Oh, I'll do that in a minute. But anyway, lots of 1s. ChatGPT definitely is not coming from a law school. It was funny. It's like, metadata have a clients for drafted documents. Right. And then we saw the text message release where Nick's stating that he's getting ready to work on this. Then if you look where it lists all their names of their little at-night company, you see that Nick is stated as working litigation. So you have the metadata, you have the leaked messages, you have the obvious of the write-ins, the fact that 10 of them can't even go through. You have the fact that the counsel's listed as the plaintiff. You have the comparison of comparing Nick's FOIA request and Lasniak's other cases with this write-in. You see that it's very similar. And then my attorney's hiring an analyst. So he reached out to Mr. Castor again. And this is what he wrote. Dear former General Castor, time is certainly running out. Excuse me. Why, Watcher? Because I have the freedom of speech. That's why. Because I have the freedom of speech. If you think my attorney has me speaking about every move we're making, you are mistaken. What this is making the public aware just like they did. So if you all recall, how did we find out about these filings? It wasn't because I was served. Does anybody remember how we found out that they even filed this? Melanie, thank you so much. 2 weeks away, I finally catch a lie. Bless your heart. Oh, thank you, Rose. Thank you, Rose of Sharon. How did we find out about this filing? YouTube, Molly Go Lightly, and then it was Josh the Lab, and then it was the Ease, and it was all over social media, correct? We found out via YouTube. So we're going to keep YouTube up to date on what is going on. But believe me, I'm not speaking on everything. There's a lot of things taking place right now, and a lot of minds are going to be blown. But sometimes making the public aware, especially when they brought it to the public, gloating, is the best way to do it. So good question, Agent 99. Are they going to have a chance to decide not to respond? Hey, Meg. Thank you, Sassy Hound. Let's get the thumbs up a little bit higher. If you didn't hit the thumbs up, please go do so. Oh, bless it, Adaz, bless it. Lucy, thank you so much. What a way to find out. So sorry. Yeah, it was horrible. And then I went in Molly's and was like, I don't have these. And CM's like, oh my God, you're such a liar. You are so toast. And then Molly's like, you're fat. You're fat. And then they started the whole Bruce Castor, he's Trump's attorney, and you're looking at 20 years in jail. It's funny now, but it was not funny then. Exactly, Tia. Thank you. Yeah, he's encouraging me to share. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what, my attorney tells me to go share it. Thank you so much, Susbuster. Thank you. It was awful. They were awful. And then Molly's like, you never comment in here. Yeah, I do, but you're reading out my full government name, my address, and allegations of RICO. You know, somebody wrote last night, Rice Scooter, that they're shocked that the E's haven't been brought into this. We've only just begun. Yeah, she said somebody named Kristen that comes from the same state, matter of fact, the same town as one of the plaintiffs, anonymously sent her this via her Discord. My attorney, he's more than welcome to, Dynamite. She was, Deanna. She was. So anyway, this is what he writes. Time is certainly running out. Take heed, this case is reaching a critical point, quote unquote, for all those involved. You should interject sage advice to your clients, just not in this case. Every moment that passes, the damages grow as more evidence of this RICO organization comes to light. Let that sink in. Everybody who read this out publicly on on their behalf will have their day. They did, Cinda. They did, and I hope they're ready to come to Pennsylvania and stand on that. Every moment that passes, the damages grow as more evidence of this RICO organization comes to light. It was not this, Kristen. Exactly, JR. They brought the public into this. They tried to silence not just me, not just Barbecue. They tried to silence all of you. Put a 1 in the chat if you felt personally intimidated when they started saying things like, if you make one comment we don't like, we will drag you into the courtroom. If you think you're safe under your username, we will pull your IP address. Look at all the ones. Look at all the people they tried to intimidate via this frivolous filing. And when the time comes, if any of you want to write your own little quote-unquote verification, it wouldn't be a verification, it'd be like a declaration, but whatever it may be, you are welcome to. You don't have to put your username. Look at all the ones. I'm sorry. I'm seriously sorry that you all felt that way. Usually I'm excited to see ones, but there's nothing excited about that. Look at all the people that genuinely felt intimidated. No, that's why my attorney wrote what he wrote, Eric. They added 50 Jane Does to intimidate as many folks as possible. Facts, because there's not even 50 creators in this sector. And they did name off chatters, usernames in their filing in an attempt to silence our support, an attempt to silence critics, because their little egos couldn't handle public criticism on a public platform based off their public antics. So no, my attorney was actually mocking Betty when he wrote that. It's not that Betty has this letter, it's that my attorney saw what Betty said. because again, my attorney's watching all of them because the real RICO will be exposed. Hey, Cheesy. They did. They did say that. They absolutely did. They wanted to make sure that we had no support and they had no critics. Well, guess what? They were wrong. I barely commented and changed my social media privacy and names. I deleted X until recently. I'm sorry, Shelby. Lindsay was named. My theory is that they put, hold on, let me get back to that. Thank you so much, Shelby, and I'm sorry you experienced that. Ellie says, my theory is that they put in 50 dough to scare others into silence. Plus, if they added a subscriber, they are scaring subs away to isolate creators of support and money. It's all down to fear and money. Exactly. They're fear-mongering people. That's what they are. Oh, well, isn't it called, what's it called again? I know you're watching. Sebastian's, what did they call themselves? Oh, Storm? Sebastian Storm? What was it called? Have a strong drink. You deserve it. These egotistical peeps, thank you for standing up. Well, I really appreciate that, but I do not drink because unlike some that proclaim they are in recovery, I am actually in recovery. But I do appreciate that. I sincerely do. I will treat myself to an ice cream. Oh, play nice. Operation Sebastian Storefront. That's what it was called. Operation Sebastian Storm. Oh, play nice. I'm glad that I could help you. You saved me great when I first came on, told me to take my real name off, and told me how I can never thank you. No, don't need to thank me. They named me because I was on QB panel. I sent it to my lawyer, and he laughed his ass off at the entire injunction. Yeah. I mean, literally, I was writing down what one attorney was saying to me. He's the one that was really kind and said, you know, if there's one thing I want to leave you with, is that you're not crazy, they are. And the words he was using to describe this entire filing, from crockpot, ramblings, nonsensical drivel, I mean, it was reassuring, because at that point they were also threatening the press conference, which, let's get into that. Subs were named. Yes, Zombie Riot. Subs were named. All right. So time is certainly running out. Take heed. This case is reaching a critical point, quote unquote, for all those involved. You should interject sage advice to your clients, just not in this case. Every moment that passes, the damages grow as more evidence of this RICO organization comes to light. Oh, you didn't have to do that again. I appreciate it. Thank you. Did you or your client, just not in this case, set forth the most recent talking points averred by the apostrophe one on social media? That's you, Betty. Here. The word means, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. Hold on. Let's go on over and see how to pronounce it.
Obstreperous.
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 Okay, anyway, that's you, Betty. In case you were unaware, that is you, my friend, not my friend. Granny, does your attorney needs the threat that Tony sent me and him saying he filed a $250,000 against a... Sure, Kenneth. Absolutely. Yeah, he needs to stop with these big words now, and I'm trying to read them out loud, but that's all right.
Obstreperous.
Obstreperous. So he's referring to Betty. Matter of fact, hold on. No, I'm not going to put on the screen. Set forth the most recent talking points averred by the
Obstreperous
one on social media. Note, we read through the veiled insinuations. To be clear, your client, just not in this case, and his compadres tried to silence by fear, quote unquote, the defendants in this case by bringing a frivolous lawsuit. Your client, just not in this case, brought about this action to, quote unquote, manipulate the defendants into, quote unquote, staying quiet, because they exercised their freedom of expression guaranteed by the United States Constitution and the Pennsylvania Constitution. It was your client, just not in this case, that set forth they had the power to put you in the Me Too movement or to get you out, paraphrased. Such a postulation seems an attempt to convince defendants and others not named in the above action that speaking up, given their opinions, could bring consequences. I also recall Nick saying that he was friends with the DA. Oh yeah, he's directly speaking to you, Betty. Right, just not in this case because, well, he represents them, just not in this case. It's a big deal. Oh, thank you so much, Layla. Thank you. Thank you all. I would have missed that and you did skip a beat. Oh, thank you. I'm getting better. I'm just kidding. Uh. I believe this email is written because of you, Betty. And let me show you why I say that. Let me show you why I say that. Do you see all these quote marks? Do you see this? Quotations here. Do you see this sentence that's clearly about you? Do you see the quotes here? Do you see this? That's all thanks to you, Betty. Then he writes, no, you, quote unquote, understand this. Every lie will be revealed. Data dumps, document analyzation, non-privileged social media evidence, and discovery brings out the truth. Things are just heating up as this group will be litigated into ruin. And if you choose to go with them, so be it. For an example, why would a plaintiff state he talked to you and something was coming for Mr. Fisher, but you were not involved? Thank you, Kenneth. What we know is that this was a coordinated attack to silence the defendants and others while using my client's locale so your client, just not in this case, could utilize the Delaware County Court. How about we do a press conference outside of your office after gathering all the damning evidence? Let's read that one again. How about we do a press conference outside of your office after gathering all the damning evidence? We can use blown up spreadsheets and other tools to illustrate RICO, just like prosecutors. In fact, instead of police officers standing in the background like a prosecution, we could invite certain groups. Surely they would be interested. Huh. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that sounds like a great idea. Well, I think he was afraid to write merchant ban. You know, they might cry threat. So instead, he just said others. I think that would be a great idea. Loads of ones. These are the ones I like to see. Loads of ones think that would be a great idea. Put it 2 if you be joining this press conference. I think that would be a nice little meet and greet. We could all meet outside Bruce Castor's office. Hey, what instrument are you good at? I think that would be a lot of fun. Get to meet each other, show the real corruption going on in Pennsylvania. Propagandist organization paid to use gimmicks and threats to intimidate opposition. Yeah. Just so happens I was diagnosed with oppositional defiance disorder. I don't like being told what I can and cannot do. I'll go after all of them. Anybody who read this out in a serious tone and told me that I was looking at jail time and or used the words fucked. And I'm pretty sure barbecue's down with that as well. Well, we'll live stream it for you guys, for my across the pond friends. Where's Lasniak been? I don't know. That's a good question. The only email Lasniak has ever wrote out was the one where he was asking where our proof of service is. I know that sounds silly, right? An attorney asking the defendant to show proof that the attorney and his client served the defendant. Yeah, but that actually happened. I'm coming to Philadelphia. Let's hear it again. Let's hear it again. That was pretty funny. I mean, we'd be outside this guy's office too. After all, they all work together.
They should be done in Philadelphia. That's
You guys all coming to Philadelphia?
done in person, in my office, in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think we should all go to Philadelphia. PA friend, just want you to know that hearing your PA accent, oh, choo-choo. I'm so sorry for your loss. 3 extra C's, maybe 4. Trunk from Atlanta to Philly, 14 hours. Let's go. All right, but let's get back to the seriousness. In the words of Betty, understand this. No, you understand this. Okay. So what we know is this was a coordinated attack to silence the defendants and others while using my client's locale so your client, just not in this case, could utilize the Delaware County Court. How about we do a press conference outside of your office after gathering all the damning evidence? We can use blown up spreadsheets and other tools to illustrate RICO just like prosecutors. In fact, instead of police officers standing in the background like a prosecution, we could invite certain groups. Surely they would be interested. Perhaps at that time you could clarify what your clients, just not in this case, have done in searching for this missing teenager. Nothing. Well, one started a podcast and started selling merchandise right after the supposed engagement. Is that not correct? Next, what have the other YouTube content creators, the ones with hurt feelings, done in the same regard? Nothing. One has a restraining order related to this missing teenager, correct? Well, that'd be a little incorrect because she actually has 4 restraining orders. But still correct nonetheless. Your clients, just not in this case, and the other plaintiffs should have heeded their own words about not, quote, taking sides, unquote, before filing this abusive process. Plaintiffs, the request for injunctive relief and complaint ips dixit Scrivener. I don't even know what that means. Hold on. It's a Latin phrase that means he said it himself. Oh. You remember when the At Night website had Latin written on it? Hey, Lana. Noisy and difficult to control. This woman named Betty is cocky. And yes, that's exactly who he was referring to. Turns out this attorney happens to know Latin as well. So a phrase that said he said it himself. So your Scrivener said it himself. Finally, we await any fake documentation being cooked up by the disinformation campaigners masquerading as an intelligence agency. Be guided accordingly. If I still live long, I'd totally be there. By the way, the E's made tons of views off that, and in my opinion, was worse than Molly reading it. I agree. The E's are also going to be subpoenaed to court. End of. All right, so we read that and commentated. Let's just read it all the way through. Besides that big word of obstreperous. All right. Dear former General Castor, time is certainly running out. Take heed, this case is reaching a critical point, in quotations, for all those involved. You should interject sage advice to your clients, just not in this case. Every moment that passes, the damages grow as more evidence of this RICO organization comes to light. Did you or your client, just not in this case, set forth the most recent talking points affirmed by the... I still can't say the damn word.
Obstreperous.
1. On social media? Note, we read through the veiled insinuations. To be clear, your client, just not in this case, and his compadres tried to silence by fear the defendants in this case by bringing a frivolous lawsuit. Your client, just not in this case, brought about this action to manipulate the defendants into staying quiet because they exercised their freedom of expression guaranteed by the United States Constitution and the Pennsylvania Constitution. It was your client, just not in this case, that set forth they had power to put you in the Me Too movement or to get you out, which is paraphrased. Such a postulation seems an attempt to convince defendants and others not named in above action that speaking up, given their opinions, could bring consequences. No, you understand this. Every lie will be revealed. Data dumps, document analyzation, non-privileged social media evidence, and discovery brings out the truth. Things are just heating up as this group will be litigated into ruin. If you choose to go with them, so be it. For example, why would a plaintiff state he talked to you and something was coming to Mr. Fisher, but you're not involved? What we know is that this was a coordinated attack to silence the defendants and others while using my client's locale so your client, just not in this case, could utilize the Delaware County Court. How about we do a press conference outside of your office after gathering all the damning evidence? We can use blown up spreadsheets and other tools to illustrate RICO, just like prosecutors. In fact, instead of police officers standing in the background, like a prosecution, we could invite certain groups. Surely they would be interested. Perhaps at that time you could clarify what your clients, just not in this case, have done in searching for this missing teenager. Nothing. Well, one started a podcast and started selling merchandise right after the supposed engagement. Is that not correct? Next, what have the other YouTube content creators with hurt feelings done in the same regard? Nothing. Well, one has restraining orders related to the missing teenager, correct? Your clients, just not in this case, and the other plaintiffs should have heed their own words and about not taking sides before filing this abusive process. Plaintiffs, the request for injunctive relief, and the complaint ipse dixit, which means the one who said it himself, the Scrivener, which would be Nick. Finally, we await any fake documentation being cooked up by this disinformation campaigners masquerading as an intelligence agency. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Mr. Attorney. Now let's check out what else he did regarding this. Let's go on over to here. We will look at a case search. We will put in 2024009-083. We got the at night. Let's get a docket entries. Oh, it's not on the docket yet. Anyway, we made a filing. And the filing goes to, the offices. So this filing goes over to, it says, please, this is for me. A preservation letter has been sent to Van de Veen, Hirshhorn, Levin, and Lydium. I don't know how to say it. Hey, crime junkie. So this is going to the offices where Bruce Castor works.
Positions should be done in person, in my office, in Philadelphia.
So this is going to his office in Philadelphia. Okay. And this one is a preservation letter. Please be advised this office represents Jessica in the above referenced matter. It has come to our attention you may be in possession of evidence integral to our defense and eventually prosecution of these plaintiffs that Bruce L. Castor Jr. Esquire has asserted he does not represent in this case. And there's a footnote. And the footnote says, individual plaintiffs have asserted that Attorney Castor is representing them in this litigation, and his emails asserting the contrary were fraudulent. That said, when questioned about these statements from plaintiffs, Attorney Castor has remained silent. Your eye will not need metadata to know Joseph P. Lasniak, Esquire, nor Attorney Castor drafted these filings based on how poorly written the claims are set forth. The aforementioned and the frivolous claims thereto make clear these claims are nothing more than utilizing the court system for improper purpose. Amazingly, just recently, certain plaintiffs had their group chat revealed by a non-party that was involved in said chat with no attorney involved. This information reveals a potential RICO scheme by these plaintiffs. This information also enlightens further that at minimum, Attorney Lasniak did not draft these documents and more detrimentally, did not review same before filing. The inclusion of Attorney Castor's name on these documents, we assert, was to give weight to the filing and have my client cower in fear. She did not, and have only begun fighting against opposers, some of whom Attorney Castor represents, just not in this case. Goes on to say, consequently, the evidence we seek is not subject to attorney-client privilege or work product privilege by Attorney Castor's own admission. There are many issues concerning Attorney Castor's claimed representation championed by these plaintiffs, which he has denied. Clearly, Attorney Castor's involvement was noted in a press conference and on the court filings. Attorney Castor's claimed involvement, not remedied, calls concern as discussed in my January 10th, 2025 letter to him. The draft and inclusion of the press release in the plaintiff's filing is relevant to the various defenses, motions, and litigation we intend to pursue to expose these frivolous claims. Now there's a footnote. Ooh. The footnote says, as stated, at least one of these plaintiffs asserted Attorney Castor's emails referencing his non-involvement were fraudulent. Hey, that's you again, Betty. Yet, when this office attached those communications to our January 10th, 2025 letter, he never responded to confirm or deny. Therefore, by Attorney Castor's silence, non-question, non-outrage at the inclusion of what we believe to be emails from him claiming his non-involvement confirmed the genuineness. Notably, we have moved with trepidation regarding emails from these parties, as Attorney Castor's client, just not in this case, has a criminal conviction which we believe centers in whole or in part around fake emails upon all information and belief. Oh. All right. This was solidified by the revealing information brought to light by non-parties to this case related to these plaintiffs. Note, one plaintiff is a claimed $500,000 and no cents retainer intelligence agency that allows non-parties to participate in group messaging. The disinformation that this group chat was hacked is false. Any attempts to falsify claims to support such a notion will result in dire results for those involved, even attorneys. So he's basically saying, if you want to continue to say that this hacking was fake, you will be held accountable for that. Those messages were real. That group chat was real. Nobody hacked them. They welcomed whoever in there that released it. And that's that. Why is an intelligence group allowing random people into a group chat? That's what he's saying there. In any event, also alarming is the fact that Attorney Castor forwarded to Plaintiff Nick one of this office's emails, which contained an attached letter. Plaintiff Nick, upon all information belief, is the scrivener of these filings in whole or in part. Plaintiff Nick, Attorney Castor's client, just not in this case, who is currently on parole, is upon all information belief an employee, officer, and or agent for Plaintiff At Night Media, LLC. To be clear, Plaintiff Nick made the forwarding and Attorney Castor's response to our email public with redactions. Therefore, we pose the question, is Attorney Castor representing any of these plaintiffs in this case, just not on the pleadings? If he was not, Attorney Castor's actions certainly appear otherwise. We queried what narrative he would elect, non-involvement with no privilege, or one of being involved behind the scenes. Take heed, Plaintiff Hong has stated on social media that he spoke with Attorney Castor just recently, and they have something planned for the intervener, Steve Fisher, paraphrased in this case. Attorney Castor is not involved in this case, as he stated, so this must be for a separate action. Thus, no claim of attorney-client privilege or work product privilege can be claimed by these requests. We do find it amazing Attorney Castor has not used a firm email, but appears to have used a personal email, and as a result, has received a preservation letter as well. And then it goes into should you not act, blah, blah, blah. Goes in to say what words we are seeking, what topics we are seeking, and that the law offices of Van der Veen, Hartshorn, Levin, and Ledium, where Bruce Castor works, are to give up all communications. Right, and that's why now Castor's work's involved. Do you think these guys want to be tied up in this? Do you think that law office wants to be tied up in such a frivolous filing? I mean, who would? Who would want to be tied into this? This is the most embarrassing thing ever. And the fact that they're listing off these people and now involving other actual attorneys that were and are respected, this will forever be tied to their names too. So the more Julia and Betty and all of them talk and they keep running their mouths, the more they're telling on themselves, the more evidence we get. I hope the boring one that wears more makeup is included in this eventually, since she cheered it all on and read out the suit and pushed the narrative. Yeah, I'm going after all of them. Anybody who sat up there and defames me by reading this frivolous lawsuit and put, you know, these stipulations behind it, like how serious this is, and I'm going to jail and all of that, they are all going to be called in. You thought you were all going to sit on the background? Because we all know that. We all know they're involved. They're either involved through the background in one of these group chats. Betty sat over there the other day acting like she wasn't in this group chat. Betty, you were. You liar. Did you all hear Betty denying? Oh, didn't have any of the main characters, the main players in that group chat. You're a lie. Yes, it did. You were in it. You were absolutely in it. And it will be exposed in court. You RICO. I wonder if they ever responded to SF's request. Granny, you do decide to go public with this. Can you imagine humiliation this firm Lesniak's going to face? Yeah. Can you imagine when I reach out to my local news, the same news that highlighted Nick's crimes? Imagine this. You were in a partnership and work your ass off and earn a large amount of money. Do parents want your son to waste your hard-earned money? It is something that can happen in inherited wealth. Well, that's a problem for them. We need a RICO fight song. We do. Thank you so much, Tia. Get my hair did it. So this is what the last we know is that he reached out. Stephen Fisher reached out to them, calling for a what is it called? A confer. Let me look it up. Rotation. Where the hell is it? Demanding a meet and confer via teleconference. So what is a meet and confer? Does anybody really know? If anybody would like to come up, you're more than welcome to. Yeah, what is a meet and confer? So let's look it up. A meet and confer is a meeting between parties in a lawsuit to discuss and resolve issues before going to court. The goal is to save time and money by encouraging parties to settle disputes without court intervention. What is a meet and confer required? Before making discovery, before making other motions, and before a judge will hear certain types of petitions or motions. What is discussed at a meet and confer? The nature of the parties' claims and defenses, the possibility of settling the case, discovery issues such as preserving discoverable information and creating a discovery plan. How is a meet and confer conducted? A meet and confer can be held in person, by video conference, or by phone. A checklist can help ensure nothing is missed. Local rules, orders, and judges' procedures should be followed. Have a great day, Whitebird. Basically a Zoom meeting. Yeah. Uh, I tried to explain this case in 30 nanoseconds to my husband. I said, I need a car and card. He said, you taking the Challenger? I said, hell yes. Should have invited Nick's parole agent. Yeah, unfortunately you can't, but he should be. I'm a little shocked, to be honest. No, they're not. So are the tacos plaintiffs? I'm glad you asked that. And you probably asked that why? Because they're listed with verifications, right? So they put in declarations. Oh my gosh, Snazzy Trinkets, Sasha, and Elizabeth, thank you so much for the PayPals. Mr. Taco and Mrs. Burrito both put verifications in. Why would they? They're not listed plaintiffs. So why would you have a verification? Maybe that's why their shit was denied. How did Spanky manage to come out clean and all of this? He's not. He's not, Lisa. We're not done yet. We're only getting started. I don't know if you guys caught on to the tone yet. And I'm sure he's dead because you guys aren't like other audiences where, you know, the creator's up there snoring. But the fact of the matter is, we plan on exposing who the real Rico is. Okay. And that's going to include the E's, and that's going to include Justin, and that's going to include Josh, and that's going to include every single person who went on that Christmas panel of Seth Rogers where they didn't even speak about Sebastian. Oh, absolutely, he knows about Nick's past. So do you think they will refile? Is there a time limit? They've already lost their time. Their responses were due on the 9th, and by the latest, the 12th. They filed on the 20th, okay? Shortly after filing, they were notified that their filings did not go through because of procedural error that they needed to correct. We are now looking at the 30th. We're on the 30th of January. It was due by the 12th at the latest. They filed it the 20th, and now at the 30th, they still have not corrected it. They are fucked, Lorton. And this is who you all put all your eggs in the basket of, right? You're all sat over there boistering these people up and swearing that you were going to do great. Absolutely, Marley, I can check. Yes, they were in a group chat. And they're out there saying they're plaintiffs, and they're not. And why would anybody even sign up to be a plaintiff in something that you have nothing to gain from, but everything to lose from? That part doesn't even make sense to me. The E's are going to be looked at. Every single person that was involved with them is going to be looked at. I hope you don't have court for this, but Granny, if you do, I need a heads up so I can plan a road trip. I'm serious as an effing heart attack. Absolutely. I will give a heads up. Matter of fact, I have a feeling we're going to have a hearing a lot sooner than these people realize. Nick. These people are pretty screwed. I don't think they realize it. But I don't think they agreed to the meet and confer. Which, to be quite honest, I'm not too sure they have to, if I'm being quite frank. And I say this because let me read it verbatim. Like, I think there's a reason they're ignoring SF. I find it fascinating, frustrating, hilarious the way they posture. They think that they are doing well, despite their filings being rejected by the courts. I know. And I know a lot of people thought that the actual injunction was denied. It wasn't. Thank you, What the Croc. They don't actually want this to go through. Was not afraid of the RICO. Was afraid of them doxing me. I know. I know. Can your attorney file a motion to have cameras in a courtroom? I'll fly there on my own dime and get a camera in there myself if need be. Well, maybe we'll invite the local news, just like they did for Betty's protective order, right? They've been doing this since October and still haven't done anything. I will never forget the night that they filed this, Friday, and they put it all over social media. Nick was in the chat saying he's going to work vigorously to ensure that they get an injunction placed on us so that they can bring Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers home. Are you kidding me? Seems like they're ignoring. Well, let's take a look. Check this out, right? And you know, what's really ironic is I think I've seen a lot of people say this, and I don't necessarily disagree. Are they intentionally doing these things to try to draw up our bills? Probably. Is it working? No. And if it does, do you know what happens in the end? You owe more. So do you really think you're I mean, if anything, the biggest risk you're taking right now is at the expense of Joseph Lasniak and Bruce Castor's reputations, what's left of them. Okay? What's left of them. So here's their filing. This started back on October 18th with their complaint. Then they have their receipt for paying. Then they have the preliminary injunction. Then here comes Stephen Fisher with his non-party opposition on the 20th. On the 20th, Fisher puts in a motion cover sheet. Here comes Barbecue's attorney and her other attorney. The receipt that the attorney paid to be on this filing. Then they put in their petition to amend. So on October 28th, Barbecue's attorneys enter the scene. And on November 6th, they petition to amend. You know what else they did on the 6th? Nick went live, where he spoke directly to me. And then I was served. On the 6th. You know what else was in their motion to amend? They left Castor's name off the documents. You know why? Because when Barbecue reached out to her attorney reached out to good old Castor. And Castor said, WTF is this? Okay? So they petitioned to amend because between the 28th and the 6th of November, 28th of October and November 6th, Castor likely rung them up and said, why is my name on this? But we'll find out for sure. Barbecue's attorneys file a brief. They file preliminary objections by the 12th. Then she has another attorney entry of appearance. Then she files an answer response to the motion to petition, which is denying it. And there's the receipt. Here's where the sheriff puts in the proof of service for myself, which was entered on November 21st. Yet Lasniak just emailed my attorney last week asking where our proof is. Because defendants are supposed to tell they've been served. Like, what am I supposed to enter in? Haha, you got me. Why would I ever tell the courts that you served me? That's your responsibility, but whatever. Like my attorney said to him then, if you would have looked at the docket, you would have seen it on there. Anyway, then by November 14th, the sheriff's receipt on the 21st, here comes my attorneys. On December 4th, they put in a press P for appearance. The receipt they paid for it. Then this is actually my motion, but those attorneys filed it under Barbecue. which I'll never understand, which is also why they're no longer my representation, along with a notice. This motion to dismiss is mine. I don't know why, again, it's under barbecues, but it's mine. Then my attorneys at that time put in their brief. They put in proof of service of this brief, which again, if Castor misspoke, I'm sorry, Lasniak, and it was a Scrivener error, they still would have saw in the docket that the proof of service was also on there. Then we have the entry of appearance by my new attorney. And then we have nothing. You know why? Because they abandoned their own lawsuit. So they tried then to enter their 10 failed documents, and they were denied for procedural, which is usually the simple things. It has nothing to do with the courthouse being backed up. It has to do with the fact that it's more than likely not an attorney writing these. So we are now currently waiting on these guys to fix their mistake, to stop holding up the court procedure. In the meantime, my attorney entered a precipice with my preliminary objections. Because when I go to countersue these folks, I'm going to need preliminary objections. And that is what our end goal is, a reverse Uno. And instead of, an Uno, you put the pickup 4, it's going to be at least 3. Because in these cases, you get 3 times the damages. And I don't know if anybody, I know Brittany's not, but is anybody else aware of what defamation per se is? Let's take a look. What is defamation per se? Now, unlike Brittany, I don't have to Google. I can just ask an attorney because I actually retained one, unlike her. But you're probably spelling business correct. Defamation per se is pretty much, in simple terms, when the allegations are so outrageous, they cause harm on the forefront. Like, I don't know, accusing somebody of RICO, that's defamation per se. Defamation per se is a type of defamation that is considered so harmful to a person's reputation that the law presumes that the person was harmed. Per se is Latin for by itself. So, let's list them off again. The E's, Justin, Molly, TM. Who else named off these filings, guys? Josh, the lab? Who else participated in defamation per se against us? Of course, the plaintiff, Brittany, and all of those. All right. Evil CJ. Well, yeah. Against Jay last night, did she? Good. Because they named Jay in this filing, so she can class action. They did. They stated that I was a criminal running a RICO operation. And inside the filing, there's a bunch of defamation. There's a ton. There's so much defamation, it's unbelievable. But you know what they don't have? They don't have any proof of myself defaming anybody. Not one single bit of proof of it. Again, all you little alt accounts, you'll all be, Matter of fact, I'm going to show you guys something while I pull this up. But anyway, let's finish this off. Wait till you see. This is why I'm going after you, Brittany, for a countersuit. Wait till you guys see what this nasty woman, a grown-ass woman, said to me in a chat box because I dare inquired and ask a question. And you can thank your new little group of friends for me following up on this. All right. Select all of these. And your moderator will likely be subpoenaed to court too. Maybe even several of them. Every penny I spend will be returned. Okay, let me send this to myself. What are the characteristics of defamation per se? The law presumes that the person was harmed, so proof of injury is not required. You took this to a news station where they grossly misrepresented it. Okay? What else do we got here? The statement is considered so harmful that the law presumes malicious intent or general damages. Do you think being accused of RICO with somebody like Dog the Bounty Hunter as the top name for the plaintiff, underneath the guise of a missing child that has made national news? Are you talking to me, Sue Ellen? Thank you so much, Gamey T. Thank you. I have B-Fam. Back to your name. I appreciate that so much, Titanium. I sincerely appreciate that. I sincerely appreciate all of you that took the time to redact and cover this in the fact of what it was, which is frivolous. All right, so we know, meets that category. The statement is considered so harmful that it doesn't require extrinsic facts to prove how it harmed the plaintiff's reputation. Oh, RICO being filed in my neighborhood? Okay. What are some examples? Accusing someone of a crime. Wow, that's number one, folks. Number one, accusing somebody of a crime. Accusing someone of having a loathsome disease. What did you say the other day in that clip I played, Brittany? Anybody want to remind Brittany of the diseases she accused me of having? The pleadings were drafted by a lay person. Seems like a matter of impersonation. It seems that way, Nina, but unfortunately, it seems more like these attorneys are involved in some, ridiculousness, if you will, to say it lightly. Oh, that's right, goody two-shoes. No three-letter, really. I don't. Bless Sue. I don't know what you're talking about. Making negative statements about someone's work or business. Oh, like accusing my channel of being part of a RICO. My channel, which I pay taxes on, so it's considered my business. Oh, that's right, Colleen C. That's right. So that would be 3 examples I fall under defamation per se. You want to keep going? You want to talk about clean hands clause? You really think it's something so egregious as the claims that you have put forth on me, that your clean hand clause of me calling you some names that hurt your feelings on the internet is going to suffice to get you out of the defamation you have participated in against me? You really think so? You really think my little commentary about, you falling asleep is going to compare to your commentary and the literal claims you have made against me? In case anybody needs a little reminder, and this is just one of many.
In the next life, she's going to be a butt wart. Okay, I'm done. Robbie. Robbie, she's already got butt warts.
What is that called, folks, in the chat with common sense? What is that called? Defamation per se, bitch. That's what that's called.
God. I mean, look,
Sure did,
let's
buddy.
be real. Didn't she admit that she had some bloody butt warts?
Nope, sure never fucking did. Hope you can prove that.
Poor Angela, y'all. Oh my God.
Listen to the second bit of defamation Brittany puts on me.
Poor Angela Ferris. Granny sent her pictures of her bloody butthole.
Does anybody remember Brittany J going on Queen Bee's panel? By the way, the name Queen Bee is not blocked in my chat. Does anybody remember Brittany J going on Queen Bee's panel and stating that she knowingly lied about there being a photo? Put a 1 in the chat if you recall that. Put a 2 if you don't, and we'll go seek it out. Yeah, she really has no idea what the law is up to good. For somebody who claims to be. Thank you. I just wanted to prove that, Autumn. For those who claim to be true crime, to not even know the basics of the law. There you go, Brittany. So not only did you commit defamation per se, but you also went on to admit that you said that knowing it was a lie, which is even worse. Let's drop a 3 in the chat if you think Brittany's fucked when it comes to a countersuit. So you want to see why I'm going really further with it? So here I am in a different chat last night. A different universe, if you will. And I asked a very simple question. Does Savage really quit the Locale Live universe? And Okie, lovely old ass Okie, comes in and says, why do you care, Granny? So I responded back, why do you care if I care? She writes back, you're asking a ton of questions. I asked 1. I ignored her. I didn't comment for a while. She thought I was gone. And look what she writes in the chat. Not this Okie, nope. Look what she writes in the chat. Because of Brittany's lies and Brittany's moderators' lies, I have pathetic women like this writing shit like this in a whole different sector of YouTube, which is why this is now evidence in my countersuit against you. Way to go, Okie. And what's your name? Crime News? Okie Crime News? That's your name? Thank you, Okie, for helping me. Matter of fact, I remember Savage had a Halloween costume that was somebody as my butthole. So Brittany's lies and slander have followed me to the point where I'm in a whole different sector of YouTube. And I have this being stated to me. Why? Because I asked. Because I simply asked if Savage is still working with the Locale universe. That's all. That's it. And this is how far and personal Okie had to go. Okie, who was in my chat and fine with me until I became friendly with Queen Bee. You're a fake ass bitch on your fake little avatar with your fake high horse. But you sure did help me. But you sure did help me in my countersuit. So I respond to Okie because, again, she waited. She thought I was gone at this point. She didn't see me comment for a good 5-10 minutes. She thought I was gone. So I respond back. Don't cry when I respond, Okie. What does Okie say? Granny's watching, same. Bitch, you get like 12 viewers. People don't even like you. But okay. So then she goes, Granny watching, I wouldn't be threatening people if I were you. So now me saying, don't cry when I respond to your slander and defamation, she has the nerve and audacity to say that I'm threatening her. That's a threat? You just brought up my personal fucking health that was based off a lie into a whole nother sector of YouTube, and you think you have the fucking nerve to call me, tell me I'm threatening you by saying I'm going to respond? So what do I say? Typical little bitch. Runs your mouth. I say don't cry when I respond, and you cry threats. Fuck off. I wonder how Alex would feel about her mod. Oh, is this Alex's mod? This is your mod? You people are okay with grown women that go around different sectors talking about people's fucking buttholes? Yeah, she came to me crying about what Voices did to her, and I fucking defended her. I was more than nice to Okie. I've never said a disrespectful word to Okie, but she had to run in and cover for Savage simply because I asked if she's still involved. That's all. I didn't say, like, is that old bitter bitch still involved? I simply said, is she still involved? And that warranted this response. But I'll tell you why people make comments like that.
In the next life, she's gonna be a butt wart. Okay, I'm done. Robbie, Robbie, she's already got butt warts. Oh my God.
That's why. That's why rumors like that are going around. That's why.
I mean,
Defamation
look,
per se,
let's
say
be
it with
real.
me.
Didn't she admit that she had some bloody butt warts?
Never,
I'm just
not
saying.
once.
Poor Angela, y'all.
Poor
Oh
Angela,
my
who's also
God.
being sued.
Poor
Count on that,
Angela
Angela.
Ferris.
I gave you your heads up.
Granny sent her pictures of her bloody butthole. I'm just saying.
You're just saying a whole lot of lies, Brittany. And now you're going to pay for them because you opened litigation with me. So for those who are unaware, Angela Ferris is a 50-something-year-old woman. She's 20 years my senior. She was a moderator and a friend of mine for over 2 years that I trusted fully. We would talk about everything from women's health to other creators to you name it. After my scare, she was the only person who was awake. And I reached out to her and I said, I'm scared. Again, this was somebody I trusted, confided in. This is now somebody who's running around saying that because somebody's voice messages with a stranger are being displayed, that they're suicide trolling her. This woman put out every bit of my conversations, including personal, very personal things. But she's saying what's being done to another creator is suicide trolling. That's exactly what you did to me. So anyway, I reached out to her. Again, we always had conversations. It was nothing different. I never suspected that one day she would use this to try to fucking shame me. And I do believe wanted me to take my life. And she was almost successful, but thank God I have real friends around me and family, and most importantly, my children. But I reached out to Angela, scared. She's the one that mentioned anything to do with what one would call butt warts. Although, what she really mentioned, and I'm looking for it, was hemorrhoids because her husband has them. So she said it's most likely just hemorrhoids. My husband gets them all the time. Go buy this cream. That was it. That was all. There was never a photo. Why would there be? Why would I ever send somebody a fucking photo of my ass? My asshole. But she went out and she lied anyway. And she stated that as fact, that I sent her a photo of my butthole. And people like Brittany J, grossly, people that have fucking children, women ran around saying it. Thank you so much, Wisdom. Thank you so much. Ran around saying it as factual. Come on, Nelly. My husband had bleeding polyps. Anybody see anything that says any? I shared with her my grandfather had colon cancer all of his body. This was me conversing with somebody I fully fucking trusted. But does anybody see anywhere where it says like message delete it, photo delete it? She says get some tux. Her husband's always had them. It's internal, and on the outside, they cool and keep them calm. There's a cream, too. Where does it say photo deleted?
You're talking about blood clots. Like when you wipe, is there a lot of blood?
Does this sound like a poor woman had to see Granny's butthole? Does this sound like a woman that was so disgusted by this conversation that she was so uncomfortable by it? No.
Like when you go to the bathroom and you don't even have to go take a poop. I mean, is it still bleeding? Because it could just be like bleeding hemorrhoids. And they can cauterize them is what they do. They can freeze them off or they can cauterize them, especially if they're like...
What does she do right after this voice message? Gets right down to drama.
Because some of them have a lot of blood vessels in them, so they'll bleed heavily.
Does this sound like
now,
somebody
if it's
who
internal,
felt
it could be a polyp.
uncomfortable by
Because
me?
my husband had polyps that bled, and he was losing a lot of blood. So what they do is they just put you out, do a colonoscopy, and what they do is they like lance it, and then it just heals. But if you have it in your family, it's probably just better to schedule an appointment and get a colonoscopy. You're out, you don't even know what's going on. The worst part is drinking that stupid shit.
Again, does this sound like somebody that I made uncomfortable with this discussion? No, because we discuss things like this all the time. Nonetheless, this woman knows I never sent her a photo. There was no photo involved. And she went on to fucking spread that rumor, pass around what was a bloody butthole, allege it was mine, and fat fucking slobs like this went on to validate it just to later go on Queens and admit she lied.
In the next life, she's going to be a butt wart. Okay, I'm done. Robbie.
Facts, Autumn. It's the only reason I embarrassed myself.
Robbie, she's already got butt warts. Oh my God.
Defamation per se. Thank you so much, Wisdom. Don't feel sorry for Granny. Back her. She's standing to for us and victims of these cases. Thank you, Three Sides. Nina, wow, thank you for the 20 gifted. The fuck is a butt wart? Right. What is a butt wart? You mean to tell me this woman that's pushed out 5 kids has never had hemorrhoids? She's giddy. She's giddy as fuck at the idea of this. Oh, Rowena, I'm glad you made it home safely too. I don't know where you were, but hey, Pineapple. Look how giddy she is. And this is the sweet Christian woman that's now suing me. This is the woman that's now suing me. You tell me where I've ever spread such a horrific, defamatory lie about you, Brittany. You know what Brittany's reasons were for going after me legally? She claims I looked up. She claims I looked up her boyfriend and her children. 1, not illegal. What was the other? She claims I FOIA requested her house. Again, not illegal. And what was the other reason? I forget. Nothing that was illegal or defamatory. Not only that, but it wasn't even true. Prove, Brittany, that I ever FOIA requested your house prior to litigation. And how can you look up children? If it was illegal to look up websites, they wouldn't have websites to look up backgrounds. There's nothing legal on it or about it. Yeah, she sounds like she's fearful of me here, guys. This is what Brittany did for an entire fucking year, but all the people that she did it with have left. But the good thing is they have also left with me all of these videos and these panels. Oh, claiming that I accused her of being involved in that kid's death. Get out of here.
She's already got butt warts.
Look at her.
Oh my God.
Heckler's gritty as fuck out of it, isn't she?
I mean, look, let's be real. Didn't she admit that she had some bloody butt warts?
You better prove that, Brittany Jackson. Just put in perspective how drama-filled that slob is. Last night, Jay was showing live the airplane accident. She sent people over saying she'll open panel for her. I hope Jay never goes on her panel. Ever. Oh, what the crock. Thank you so much. And again, this is the woman that put out this personal detail about me, put out this lie about me about there being a photo. This is the woman that's now saying that somebody else's voice notes being played, which showed nothing but her talking shit about everybody. It's suicide trolling her. What do you call it when somebody that you were friends with for 2 years puts out all of your most personal details and little driplets every single day for 2 fucking years? What do you call that then? Not a stranger that I decided just to vent to and start talking all the shit on everybody I'm friends with, but somebody I was actually friends with, confided in, trusted. If you call what's being done to Slamber as fucking suicide trolling, what do you call what you did to me that led to this? That led to me being in a random fucking chat and having a comment like this being made? I'll talk about whoever I want, wherever I want. Because I can do that. I'll be in whatever chat I want talking about you, Brittany Jackson, because your attempt at my silencing my free speech did not work. Right, and that FOIA request was done by her previous mods. It had nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me.
I'm just saying. Poor Angela, y'all. Oh my gosh. Poor Angela Ferris. Granny sent her pictures of her bloody butthole. I'm just saying.
Accusing someone of a crime, which would be RICO. Accusing someone of having loathsome disease, which would be buttworts. Making negative statements about someone's work or business. Claiming my channel is part of a RICO. Defamation per se. And if you don't think it's defamatory, go ask an attorney what you're up against. There's no clean hand clause that will save you. None. And that's just a little bit of it. They all know. They all know that Angela lied about that. They all ran around spreading it like it was factual because they never thought that it would be, they'd have to respond to it in the courtroom. But you signed me up for litigation, Brittany, and I'm going to see it all the way through. I'm going to see it all the way through. What is clean hands clause? I'm glad you asked. The clean hands doctrine. The clean hands doctrine is a legal principle that prevents a party from seeking equitable relief if they acted unfairly or in bad faith. It is also known as the clean hands doctrine or the dirty hands. The doctrine is based on the principle that he who comes into equity must come with clean hands. The defendant has the burden of proving that the plaintiff acted in bad faith. The doctrine only applies to misconduct that's directly related to the matter being sought. She doesn't even understand what this means to try to use this as her legal defense. She has no idea what this means because it won't work. If a person sues their employer for wrongful termination but was stealing from the company, the clean hands doctrine would apply. If a parent kidnaps their child and then asks for custody, they'll likely be denied custody because of the clean hands. How she thinks that this is going to work when I countersue her for all the things she said and done, I don't know. It's clear as day she doesn't have actual representation. She doesn't even wash them. I just love it for her because she really thinks she has some like fighting chance against this, and she doesn't. She simply doesn't. Let's take a look. Look, I don't care if friendship ends. You don't do that. Right. The thing is, what's being done to the other girl, I actually said I felt bad that it was happening because I know what it did to me when it was done to me. The difference being the woman is now happening to moderate it and celebrate it being done to me. So I don't have that much empathy. Secondly, it was a stranger, a man she met over hate bonding, not somebody she was friends with for years, like was my case. Oh, she still allows comments in her chat to this day, calling me McWarty, Granny McWarty, and things like that, don't you, Brittany? Still to this day, you allow that lie to go through your chat, despite the fact that you went on Queen Bee's and admitted that you repeated that rumor knowingly that it was a lie. She fucking knew. What? Brittany doesn't have an attorney? Well, but she was so hurt by my butterhead. Right, Rowena? Right. And then I love, did you see, Rowena, where her little panel guest had like a thing up that, something about age. Oh, I'm proud to be my age. It just means we fought harder to get here or whatever. But didn't she try to ageism you? Didn't she go at you based on your age, Rowena? Now they're the Proud Geriatric Club. Like, what? You were sitting there making all these jokes about Rowena's age. That's what I'm saying, Snipsky. At least I'm not fucking... don't even get me started. Yes, ma'am, because I got to use the restroom, so I'd love for you to come up. Hey, nonsense. Nonsense. My attorney wrote another email. This one's really good. Where he basically lets them know. He quotes Betty in this, and he says, I like this part, nonsense. What we know is this was a coordinated attack to silence the defendants and others while using my client's locale, so your client, just not in this case, could utilize the Delaware County Court. How about we do a press conference outside of your office after gathering all the damning evidence? We can use blown up spreadsheets and other tools to illustrate RICO, just like prosecutors. In fact, instead of police officers standing in the background, like a prosecution, we can invite certain groups. Surely they would be interested. He also lets them know time is certainly running out. Take heed. This case is reaching a critical point, which is quote unquote it, for all those involved. You should interject sage advice to your clients, just not in this case. Every moment that passes, the damages grow as more evidence of this RICO organization comes to light. Hey, Rowena.
Hey, girl. Good morning. Sorry, I've got a cold. I've got a cold. If I sound, 20 years older, I have a cold. So there's that. Oh, bitch. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, what's mind blowing to me? It's like she has said multiple times about me and other people that were deviants, like because we always talk about body parts. Because I said wiener, and she's so dumb. She's so dumb. I say that because in a certain chat because I used to say wiener, and this one creator had a mod that would time me out for saying wiener. She was real uptight. Anyway, she's no longer there, and so now it's like a joke. And Butterhead, which I've said for the 20 millionth time, I came up with that because after Tony Mathis hopped up on her panel when she's about to call him out and actually grow a spine, she folded like butter. Whenever
Right.
you confront her, she cries and melts like butter. And she has as many brain cells as butter. Now, Okie and all the other little, pieces of shit, had to do lives that I was racist, but they had to go to the Urban Dictionary and look up something from World War II. Yes, I am a old bitch. And yes, I will be 60 years old on February 4th. Come find me because I will be drunk and I cannot wait. I love my age because in the South, every year you get older, you can just say the wildest shit in public and people just say, bless her. See, that's the age I'm going for. But she said that I was old enough to be her grandmother. No, I didn't have a baby at 12, and then my baby didn't have a baby at 12. So, no. But yeah, she's trash. She's just
Well,
trash.
well, you're racist for butter, but they're sitting over there in the loons chat who was openly admitted that she's racist, but she's allowed to be racist because the black culture accepts her.
Right. Well, and don't
Okay.
forget about what she said about the Proudfoots. Let's not forget that.
That's
About
right.
indigenous people. Let's not forget about that. You know, I really, I hope you take each one of her toes and nail them to the ground, all 12 of them, and well, weirdo that she is, and just make her just go all the way with it.
Oh, I am.
And
Absolutely am.
and Oki's trash. Oki is not Oki in here, not Oki mom in here, but Oki crime is just absolute trash. She did the same thing to Queen, and we all kind of know how you feel when a friend does this, because Joneson did it to
Mm-hmm.
Queen and a lot of us. So we get it, and it hurts worse. It hurts when a stranger does it, but when somebody that you confided in and trusted, a friend, it hurts a million times more.
No, especially when it's such an egregious lie. Like that's
Hmm.
just a disgusting thing to make up about somebody.
Yep, it's just gross. And then that night when she came up on Queen's panel, and she was like, "Yeah, no, I never had the picture, and I'm sorry." But that's just
Yeah,
like
she
when
said
she
there
said,
was never. No, no, no. She said there was never a picture. It never
"Oh,
existed.
okay." And
Yeah.
then
So
she said,
she, you
and then
know,
she told Queen, she goes, "Oh, thank you for standing up for my kids." And then look what she does to her. I mean,
right.
she tell me you're not a butterhead, man. You have no spine, none. When I mess up, I'll be like, hey, I messed up. Sorry, you can accept it or not, and I move on and I try to do better. But we're all human, but not her. And
Nope.
you
That's
know,
the same panel where Brittany also admitted that she had my medical papers up on her screen.
yep,
Mm.
yep,
But she thinks a clean hands clause me what? FOIA
yeah,
requesting? I love for her to prove I FOIA requested. And me
yeah,
looking up her partner. You have a right to look up whoever the fuck you want. Did I use that information publicly? Does she even know if I looked him up?
yep,
Maybe your ex-friend sent me a bunch of shit and I didn't need to look it up. Yeah, it was
right.
Okie crime.
Maybe one of those 140 mods that left.
Yeah.
She forgets about all those 140 mods, man. Can you imagine 140 mods leave? I,
Nope.
I just can't.
140 plus now. And what's ironic is she used to have them categorized, right? So it was the mean group 1, then it was mean group 2, then it was the mean group 3, and then all of a sudden everything was just grainy. Now a FOIA request was done on her property by former mods because she lied about a SWAT.
Right. Yeah,
So
that's it. When they went to the wrong house.
yeah, they
Yeah,
went to the wrong house.
yeah, they went to the wrong house, and so then she takes that as
I was swatted.
I was swatted. Right. Stop it, girl. Just stop it. But she's trash, so it is what it is. But I'm glad you're, and I know I just people don't realize it's not just the financial stress. It's not just that. It's not just getting emails from your attorney saying, "Hey, I need more to go into this trust, that I take money out of." It's stress. It's your real life. This doesn't have grannies watching on the paper. It has your legal name, and it's your real
Yeah,
life.
my
And people
legal
don't
name
realize that.
in my
And
neighborhood
yep,
with
and
Dog the Bounty Hunter as the main plaintiff so that it catches headlines based
yep,
around the disappearance of a child who's been on national news. They know what
talking
they were
about
doing.
talking about he can legally kick in doors and administer truth serum. Yeah,
Hmm.
would anybody feel safe? And you have littles in your house,
And then you had
and
Nick saying that he was deputized and would make arrests and ask questions later.
yeah,
Yep,
you got the dog handler that said she was deputized. She wasn't.
that one too. Yep.
Hmm.
And most of these psychos are in my backyard.
Yeah,
Like they're here.
yeah, I know, I know.
That Julia, man, the amount of information I've received about her in over 72 hours. And I'm not just talking just from like YouTubers, like from actual credentialed people of Pennsylvania. Oh man,
Hmm.
Julia's in for a rude awakening.
Well, she's kind of like Betty. She's the gift that keeps on giving in one way because
Hmm.
she can't shut up.
Like when she
And
made
so,
that tweet and doubled down that Castor was her attorney and that she spoke to
yep,
Castor's office for 45 minutes.
yep, that one right there. That was the one. I was like, oh, you are so dumb.
Yep. And that's why that office now received a preservation letter.
Yep. So there, all of them just, it is what it is. But maybe she'll. And what blows my mind is that she doesn't stop.
Right.
BJ doesn't stop.
She's so
And
terrified she doesn't stop.
uh-huh.
It is
Yeah.
amazing. And she's just a victim of everything. And, I love when she says, what have I ever personally done to you? Like
Uh-huh.
you're public on a fucking platform. You think people need to give you a personal reason why to dislike you? You think you're entitled to any reason why anybody dislikes you?
Right. And some of these people, if they said, I really like Roro, I would leave and go kind of get myself together, Like,
Hmm.
I would be like, oh, no, I don't want you to like me. And it's like I said on Queens one day, I was like, I'm not trying to say that I'm any better, but certain people, yeah, a lot of people are better than them. Not financially, not initials behind your name, not your profession, not the size of your house, but your morals and your ethics. Yeah, I am better than you. Sorry, I just am. You know, if that makes me, yeah, it doesn't matter how much is in my bank account or anything like that, but just how I treat people, no, I'm a lot better. But I just thought that was so ironic when she would be like, they're such deviants. They always talk about body parts. And I was like, bitch, you talked about Granny's butthole for 2, 3 years. We didn't even know Granny. And
Yep.
we had heard the story. And
And
I'm glad you came back. And I'm
and
glad that you got it together. And I'm sorry that they pushed you to those thoughts that you had.
I
But you're
appreciate
stronger
that.
now for it. Everything happens for a reason. I tell that to everybody. No matter what bad things going on, there's a reason why, and you might think it's the worst thing in the world right now, but just wait. There's a reason for it. You might not ever know it, or you might.
Well, and that's exactly what people do, right? When they get to a point where they are, like there's somebody right now that's saying, I haven't eaten in 5 days because of what's happening on YouTube. Then
Oh,
log the
stop
fuck
it.
off. Even
Stop it.
Brittany and her
Exactly.
like her dramatic declarations. Do you know one of the first thing the judge is going to say is, what did you do to diminish your personal, trauma, your personal pain? Nothing. She did nothing. She didn't log off. She didn't spend a summer off. She didn't spend a week off. Matter of fact, they go live every day, sometimes twice a day. So where's the emotional distress? Where's it at? We're not seeing it.
Yeah. And that part that she put in, I can't attend family functions, is because you can't get off YouTube,
Right,
girl.
because you're addicted to YouTube drama.
Hmm.
It's
Hey,
all
y'all.
God's
Hey,
plan.
KB.
Amen. Can I
I
run to the
said,
bathroom real quick?
yeah, fine.
Thank you.
I'll read chat. Yeah, you're fine. I should have told you when I hopped up. Go pee, girl. Go pee. But I hope y'all are all having a good day. But yeah, she just, boy, she's something else. And that religious manipulation, stop it, girl. Just stop it. Just, I can't stand that. I cannot. I cannot. Don't sit there and let those vile things spew out your mouth and then sit there and pray. No, girl. Mm-mm. Not doing that. Not doing that. Hey, Nay. Hey, everybody. Hey, Nonsense. Petty Crocker. But yeah, so I think it's so rich from her. And she can't shut up. So keep on talking and and all these other people like Okie. Okie, man, you were trash. I ain't lying. No. No, no, no. To go into another sector of YouTube and say that shit for absolutely no reason, I hope you got your ass pat from somebody. Yeah, I'm glad to be back too, Lazy Wolf. I got back in town yesterday. So I'll be home for a couple weeks and headed out again. Busy life. Busy, busy right now. I have a feeling that in coming months she's going to have a lot more than just a lawsuit to worry about. She's not in a good place. When you invite the public to your house, they will come. Oh, she's inviting people to her house? Well, that's stupid. That's dumb. That's one thing that you'll never hear me say is pull up. No, I ain't inviting nobody nowhere. I ain't telling nobody pull up because that is an invitation. But if you do pull up, well, I'm not going to say, but yeah. Anyway, I'm from Tennessee, so there's that.
Oh, I'm back. Rowena, I forgot. I meant to tell B Tim. So there's certain times where like Queen's playing like something at Betty's or whatever, and I'll shoot the link over to my attorney to be like, hey, check this out or whatever. And my attorney really enjoys B Tim.
Oh,
Forgot
I
to tell
enjoy
him that.
BTM. Look, when BTM gets on a rant, baby, watch out. Woo, honey.
That's what he said. He said he just, he really clowns them, basically, is what he
Yep.
said.
And he lays it down. Well, when he gets going, but he's saying everything that I want to say. He just says it in cleaner language than I do because my mouth is filthy.
When B Tim gets to cursing, though, he gets to cursing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my attorney's also, what is B Tim, a vegetarian or whatever it's
Yeah.
called? Yeah.
Vegan. He's vegan.
Yeah.
We always kid him about his tofu and his mangoes and frozen bananas. He needs to quit fat shaming Duke, though. We're about to have some words over that. Fat shaming a dog. Can't
Fat
do
shaming
that.
dog.
I know it. There's always a hidden
Dogism.
side to him. Nobody's perfect. Even BTM's not perfect. Fat shames Duke. Poor Duke. Poor damn it, Duke. But I just want to hop up and tell you that. And you have a ton of support behind you. Queen has a ton of support behind her. And I know that I'm not speaking for y'all, but just people showing up in chat and being here and hitting the like button.
Oh, it helps so much.
It does. And I always tell people, send words of encouragement. And I told Queen to do this. I don't know if she did it, but I said, make a folder and all the emails that you get that are encouraging, not just with Betty, but just because certain people, certain creators, they do, y'all do help subs like through hard times. Like we kind of come here to kind of leave our real life for a little bit, and a lot of us are friends. We've never met, but then if you're not real friends, then how do dating sites work? Because sometimes you don't meet any. You know what I mean? It's like
The only
people
people that
meet.
the only people that say you can't make real friends on here are people like Brittany, who's lost over 140 plus of them, right?
Right.
Because instead of realizing that you're the common denominator, they blame it on everybody else. But yet you hear her constantly saying, like, my friends would tell me this, my friends would tell me. I about fell over when I heard her say the other day, describing what it was like to go through withdrawal and this or that, because I think she forgets how much she told her ex friends. And I'll just put it like that.
Yeah.
The fucking audacity. Thank you, J-Dub. Maybe I will. But you can absolutely get friends around here.
I hope that you create a folder, and when people send you nice emails about this, about you, about whatever,
That's a good
when
idea.
you get those emails, put them in that folder, and on those down days, just sit there and read some of them. You don't have to read all of them, but it kind of gets you back in focus because you are human. You're not a granny. Queen's not a bee, and it does. So try. Set up something like that.
That's another thing I've always said. And that, of course, Bernie tried to steal, which is like, we're not just like these virtual bopping heads on the screen. We're actual people. And this is why I barely go live anymore. Like, there's just some days I'm like, I don't even, like, you have to fake the funk. And I just can't fake the funk. And the fact that Betty and Brittany are claiming emotional distress, but again, they're going live sometimes 2, 3, times a day, giddy as fuck. And it's like, you're bullshitters and you're going to pay for it, man. They're going to fucking pay for it.
Yep.
Yeah, we need this one to get the most thumbs up because I tagged the law offices of Joseph P. Lasniak and of Van Shorn or whatever his name is, the Philadelphia guy, and Bruce Castor. I tagged all their offices.
You did? Okay, so I'm one of the does, but they misspelled my name.
Let them know, Rowena. Talk to them directly.
It's Rowina. Sudpucker, Sudpucker. Can you change that for me, please? I'm one of the does. I can't remember what number, but I think I'm listed like 6 times. And no, I haven't shut up yet. I've just been busy. So if you can
She
change
said,
the
"I've just been
spelling,
busy."
I've been out of town, a little busy with real life. So
How did
if
they
you could,
spell
I
it?
didn't know you tagged all those people. Oh my gosh. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. And thank
absolutely.
you as one of the 50 something does. Thank you for doing this. Because yeah, I really appreciate it because you're not just doing it for you, you're doing it for Queen that, got the weird text message and all this stuff, and you're doing it for all the does. So as a
Honestly,
doe, I appreciate it.
and not only that, Rowena, but it's for every YouTube creator because imagine if they were successful here. What's next? Everybody that talks about the Chris Watts case, they're all RICO. Every case that comes forward, they're going to be able to do this to try to like power the coverage so that they're the only ones that are able to speak on anything. Like what gives them the right to even think they can do that? And then when I asked the chat if when this all came about, were you intimidated when they purposely said we will go after subscribers and get your IP addresses? The amount of ones that popped up in chat was flooring.
Yeah,
The amount of people they intimidated, the amount of people that changed their usernames,
yeah.
it's not cool.
Well, we noticed it, and now it's gone back, but we noticed it over at Queens because when this came out and they had me, B. Tim, Amy, a lot of people that had jumped up on Queen's panel and listed as does. People, um, oh, you don't know what a doe is? True crime. A doe is it's like a Jane Doe, like an unnamed person, but they had me. Of course, they misspelled my name, but I was one of the people that I'm not being sued, but I was kind of like, what would you call it, Granny? Like not named, but
No, you were named. You were named
yeah,
as
yeah,
part of a RICO,
yeah,
honestly. Well,
yeah.
that's just like when they did that with whatchamacallit on Julia puts on I think it was Julia on X. I think we found plaintiff number 13, not realizing number 13
Yeah,
was already claimed by somebody else. Like they don't
right.
they're not even
Yeah.
organized enough to bring such allegations.
I need to go look and see what number I am. I don't even know what number I was. When I found out about it, I just cracked up. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And then I found out they misspelled my name. And I'm like, really? Stop it. Just stop.
Well, they
But
also put Lasniak as a plaintiff, so
yeah,
that's pretty telling.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Saint Outlaw was going to be Jane Doe 13, but they already put White Boy as 13.
Uh, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you got to love it.
But I noticed that once that came out, people quit hopping on Queen's panel.
Yeah.
And because they were scared, which rightfully so. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say that I just laughed it off. I was like, oh crap. Do I need to call somebody, And
Right.
look, there's Lippy, my little imaginary granddaughter. There she is. Lippy's my imaginary granddaughter, if y'all didn't know.
Well, you did a great job with your granddaughter, but
I
it is
know
the
she's a
truth
good one.
though. How
It is,
many of them ran around? How many of their subscribers ran around saying, all you have to do is shut up?
yep,
Meanwhile, what else did they start doing? They would type out their comment, such as this. They wanted to monopolize this whole community with their fake legal threats. I'm glad you have such an effective lawyer because he's taking them to task. They would follow that up with, in my opinion, allegedly.
yeah.
Don't you
That's
think it's
not
a
going to get
fucking
you.
problem?
And
That
in your opinion, and allegedly doesn't get you off scot free.
no,
You
it's
know,
not a
you can't
protect all.
you can't stand up in a movie theater and scream fire, in my opinion, allegedly. There
Right.
are consequences to your words. You can't go into a bank and say, put your hands up. Allegedly, in my opinion. You can't do that.
Well, not
So,
only that, but when you get to a point where on social media, under your username, you have to write, in my opinion, allegedly. Why are you
right,
like, why would you even participate? Don't you think that's ridiculous? Obviously, anything I say is my opinion, or I wouldn't
right,
fucking say it.
right.
But
Now,
the fact that they
sometimes
go
I do
around writing
say,
that, they look
sometimes
stupid.
sometimes I do say it when I'm on panel because I don't want it to get misconstrued because I
Right, as
have
being
said
as
some
kind of
things,
smart as
and I'm like,
right.
hey, this might not be everybody's opinion, but this is my opinion and this is how I feel. And yeah, and it's not defamation if it's true. If the words are true, it's not defamation.
Well, I went through all their little exhibits that were not attached to the original filing, but could be
Yeah,
found via their social media site, which is very telling. And I was looking for the part where I committed defamation, and I simply couldn't find it. Instead, what
yeah,
I saw was I minimized his trauma from his divorce. They claimed that I lied by stating that Seth Rogers himself said that the courts labeled him borderline abusive, in which they followed up saying there is not one singular court document from any of his legal hearings where a judge says that. But yet I played Seth Rogers himself saying that. So if he
right.
lied about it, he lied about it, but that doesn't mean I defamed him. It's truthful. I
Well,
couldn't
the
see the
divorce
part
papers say different, so
right. And he himself said differently on Betty's. He said the courts labeled me borderline abusive. He said it.
yeah.
And then the other thing was I mocked him by saying it's been 8 years, bro, get therapy, which several attorneys said that actually sounds like legitimate advice, not defamation. And what was the other thing that was so stupid? Oh, I used sarcasm. Yeah, this is a fucking
Well,
entertainment show. Of course I use sarcasm.
right. I mean, come on now. Well, that's a big ego to stroke, so, and a big ego that got hurt, so there's that.
Yeah,
That's my
and why
opinion,
is
and that's
why
my opinion, not Granny. So, you know,
and why is a father of a missing child more worried about all of that than, if I retained, this is from my perspective, so obviously my opinion, but if I retained an alleged private intelligence group that cost a retainer of $500,000 to help in the search of my missing child, and instead all they did was search the internet for fucking opinions that don't align with theirs and file frivolous lawsuits, I'd be pretty upset. The fact that their NDA, did you see that, Rowena? Their NDA,
I
they
haven't,
said
but
they signed. Yeah, they signed
I've
over
been
their.
gone.
They signed over their legal rep. They signed over for all of their legalities to be in the hands of a parolee.
Brilliant, brilliant. Do all the things. See, now I'm just like, do it all because you're just hurting yourself. It's
Right.
kind of like when Betty says the most vile things. I'm like, keep on going, girl, because that detective in Tennessee is watching. Do all the things. You can't hurt Katie more than she hurts already from missing Sebastian. You can't
Amen.
hurt her more, and there nobody can hurt her more than she's already hurt. And like week 2, look, I've got a Seth in my family. I sure do. And I saw it week 2. I saw it. I saw it before then. I just didn't say anything. And I said on on the Queen's panel, beat him about. I thought he was gonna come and strangle me in my box, but he said, I said, from what I'm seeing, his hate for Katie overrides is more than the love of his son. And
Hmm.
that's my opinion. That's how I feel. Because I would have never, ever put out the personal information that he has put out about his own child because it has nothing to do with him going missing.
Right. It
And
was
that hurts
unnecessary.
my heart for Sebastian. And it hurts my heart for Seth. Because when Sebastian does come home, what kind of relationship is he going to have with him? He
Well,
absolutely
what kind of
destroyed.
relationship did he have with them beforehand? Let's be honest here.
Right.
But I don't know if you noticed, but the latest letter that I don't know if you were in here that my attorney wrote to Castor, it is all based off Betty,
Yeah. Well,
which I
it's like
love
I
that for
wasn't
her.
shocked. I did hear about the metadata being linked back to Nick and Betty of the exhibits that weren't attached to the injunction. Yeah. I did know about that. And it doesn't surprise me because if you look at it, some of it is word for word on what's in Queen's lawsuit.
Mm,
I mean,
shocking.
word for word. So it's just very interesting. All right, well,
Hate to you.
the lands, the
Hey,
yard people are here, so I hear the mowers starting to crank up. So
Oh,
I'll
look at
hop in.
you,
But
rich
thank you for
bitch.
letting me hop up, and I have missed everybody. And y'all have a good day. And Granny, just please do that folder for me. I don't know if Queen ever did it, but make you a folder and just all the good emails, just put them in there.
That
And
is a
it's
good
like an
idea.
archive, and it
An archive, you say?
An archive. Well, now I'm talking like Granny. I'm mispronouncing all the big words.
You pronounced it right. I called it an archive one time, and man, Voices didn't let me live that shit down. She got me every turn.
Look, the only word that I never get wrong is the F word. It's
Ain't
my
that the
favorite
truth?
word, and I gave myself, I think, my New Year's resolution I could have 10 F's a day. So
That's
yeah,
a lot. I
I'm
actually
not.
stopped cursing as
Well,
much.
see, my mouth is bad. I have a good heart, but I'll either be your
You
best
queen and
friend or
beats
your
him.
worst nightmare.
When you queen and beats him get worked up, you all have the worst mouth.
We do. It's horrible. It is absolutely. And look, and I've been around family for 2 weeks. We kind of had a thing going on anyway, and so I couldn't cuss. And oh my goodness, but I did have to cuss out one nurse. I had to. I've only been able to drag one person in 16 days. So I was like, oh, Granny's live. Let's go see what's going on. I was like, oh yeah, let's say all the things. So yeah. All right. Well, y'all have a good day, and don't give up, Granny. And
Oh, I'm not. Thank
and
you.
reach out to the people that you. And I know it's hard to trust,
Oh, I got
but
my solid ladies. They know I
yep,
trust them full-heartedly.
good,
I've been
good.
blessed.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, y'all
thank
have a
you.
good day, and I'll be down in chat. Y'all don't want to
All
hear
right.
mowers. All right. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, Tia. I'm going to grab a
Hi.
drink, though, Tia, if you don't
Yeah,
mind,
go.
but I'll put you on my phone. Okay, thank you.
Do your thing. I'll wait for you to come back. Hello, everyone. I came up as one of the 140. And also, I have many things to say to Granny that are hopefully helpful and kind and not. We're not going to be a dick. We're just not. Hi, you guys. Hi, Jill. Hi, with the croc. It's really nice to see you guys. Is it time to collect all those words? Yeah, they are super smart, aren't they? I'm Tia.
Well, thank you so
Heather.
much.
Oh, you're welcome. Are you good?
Yeah.
Do you want to
All right.
go over your super chats? You've had a bunch of them come in, and I didn't want to interrupt. I just want to make sure that you know that.
I did. Yeah, thank you so much. I do appreciate that.
Okay.
I'm 70 plus. One thing I've learned is that karma will get you. Might take a while, but you get what's coming. Amen to that. Amen. I'm behind, but I think you should put together a video defamation. I did see this, and I think that's a great idea too. Thank you, Pearl. And sorry, thank you, J-Dub. People saying this one, I couldn't agree with more. People saying allegedly, in my opinion, drives me nuts and is asinine. It's like saying this isn't actually what I think, but I'm presenting it as though it might be my opinion. And it doesn't protect them, Tia. These
No,
people
it
think they
doesn't.
can say whatever they want and follow it up with, in my opinion. You're just wasting your breath.
Mm-hmm.
It is asinine. Thank you, ladies, so much.
So I came up here for a couple of reasons. One, I told you in chat, I went to a family party a couple weeks ago in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a bunch of family in politics and law and all that kind of thing. So I thought for shits and giggles while we were sitting around the table, I love this particular cousin. He's amazing. And he's married to a judge and she's amazing. And I was like, hey, do you mind if you just can I just have you just look at my phone for 2 seconds? I just want to get your opinion on this because, we're hearing certain things and so his wife, the judge, grabbed it first and she was like, maybe third paragraph down, maybe. And she goes, no one in law wrote this. And I was like, well, how do you know? And she goes, because no one in law would say these words in a sentence. They wouldn't link them together in a sentence. This is not, no. And then her husband looked at it and he was like, absolutely not. He was like, if I were writing this, he's like, first of all, I wouldn't use these words. I wouldn't make these accusations. And he was like, this is all, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to you, but it was like a pile of shit.
That's what everybody has said. Yeah. Yep.
New York, Manhattan attorneys and judge. Very well respected, very smart. And so then we kind of clowned around the table for a little bit and it was like, well, let's exhibit this. Let's exhibit that. And I mean, we kind of had a hoot over it. The bottom line is, both of them said, I told them that you had a really good attorney now and that things are looking up for you. And my one cousin said, she could walk in there with her bare hands and nothing, and she would win, based on the fact that there is none of this is true, accurate, or is even legalese.
Right.
So
They quoted a bunch of criminal law and a civil filing.
that's exactly what they said.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And then the little exhibits don't even match. Majority of them are hearsay. It's their own words. Not only that, but the actual things needed, such as how we interfere with business relations or emotional
Mhm.
stress or proof. None of that exists at all. They don't even have me committing defamation, not 1 ounce of it. And they bring up other people like Dolly. Remember when Dolly thought he was being sued and all that?
Oh,
And he
so
started-
would he get 2,500 for
Oh
that?
yeah, on the basis that, he was being sued and he's so against people that do things like that. He's all about freedom of speech. He doesn't fuck with people like that. But Nick's now his moderator, because he got the pass. He's no longer being sued. So I so long as their agenda.
Oh my
Sued.
God.
Yeah.
So one of the other reasons I came up is for people who know in the chat, great. People who don't know in the chat, I used to be a mod for Brittany,
Mhm.
and I was actually friends with Brittany.
Mm.
Contrary to what she'll tell you, I have all the proof in the world for that. But I actually came up and was really, really rude and disrespectful to Granny on Brittany's behalf.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
But we moved past it.
I know, but what I wanted to say is, and I've apologized already if you guys don't know, I was really I went on Granny's panel and I just was I was a total dick. I was a complete and total dick, and there was just no getting around it. But I'd like to say we've moved past it, and I'm grateful that we moved past it. And I'm grateful that you actually let that go. But point being, as someone who was against Granny, I fully support Granny and will be there at the trial.
Yes, because you're not too far from us.
No.
Oh, I love that.
We will be covering the trial
Oh, I love
for
that.
you on your behalf. On your behalf.
Brittany's bringing
and-
an army too, so watch out.
Oh, well. I won't bring an army. I'll just bring her own words and we'll just replay them. It'll be fine. I'm so
Body, thank you.
initially I was like, oh my God, this girl needs to get an attorney. Like, how stupid is she? Now I'm like, Brittany, don't get an attorney. You're totally fine. You're absolutely fine.
Yeah, you got great representation.
Yeah. This is going to be so great.
You were just in the lead.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we are going to a little group of friends. We're going to be reporting on things for Granny, as much as she'd like us to share or not share, depending on what she decides. And that's how we handle all of our cases. And we're going to do that one with we're going to be there. I have a trial tomorrow. We're going to go to that one. And then we're just going to start covering a lot more trials.
Oh, that's fun. That's exciting. You know what, though? Honestly, I wonder, do you think that they'll Zoom this by chance? Maybe. I don't think they will, to be honest, because we've seen the way other Zooms, YouTube things kind of go.
I don't know.
I hate beer can. Thank you.
Civil suits don't typically get Zoom, do they?
I don't think so. No.
This being civil, you know what? I really don't know. I just think it'll be fun as hell to cover this.
I agree. It's going to be interesting because, like I said the other day, just envision it here with me, right? We're in a courtroom. No Zoom. No, my county doesn't have Zoom. We're in a courtroom, right? And there's going to be Dog, Seth, Tony, Nick, Hong, Brittany, Julia, Betty, that other woman. I still don't even know who the hell she is. Did I say Tony already? Then you got Pickle Ass and his wife. So right now I'm at 12 people. And then on the other side, you're going to have me and Barbecue. Who's the fucking RICO here?
Right. Well, I mean, it should be obvious as to who the RICO is when you had 10 people initially on the filing and 2 defendants.
Right. And then more, like I said, more and more proof comes out, and you're kind of seeing how they are like an organized group that has,
Yeah.
targeted
I mean,
us.
I'll be on the empty side and just taking notes. And I'm going to advise Brittany, you probably want to start grifting now for the funds to travel, because it's going to be expensive.
Yeah, and if your support looks anything like Betty's, you're going to need at least 6 months to gather enough for the flight. But then again, the retainer fee of $500,000 should be able to cover these people's
Oh, you would
lodging and
think,
flights.
wouldn't you?
Yeah,
That's an excellent point. So your hotel, your car, and all that should be covered under
Yeah.
the okay.
because I had the screenshot of Nick writing that that's what that retainer was for, in case they have to go into litigation. So surely that should cover it.
Oh my
Uh-huh.
God.
But then again, if you go by the filing, they state on one hand that it was anonymous donor from a certain part of Tennessee, Brentwood, I believe it was called. But then if you go further in the filing, they claim that they're doing this free of charge. So it depends what part of the filing you want to listen to.
Well, in the filing, it also lists Nick being on medical leave.
Yeah, did you notice that? I said at that time that I believed he was on medical leave, and Brittany said he was in jail.
Oh,
In jail.
oh, Bonnie wants to come. She wants to visit Philly. That would be awesome.
I think everybody should come visit. I think it would be a great time to visit.
I do too. I think a lovely lunch after would be amazing. Just little celebratory. Cheers. This is how we do it.
You know how beautiful Philly is too? There's so much sightseeing. We can visit the parole offices of Delaware County.
Oh, maybe we could rent one of those vans and do like a tour.
Well, remember, if we end up having to have a press conference or anything, that would be very nice.
Oh, we need that band. Who's got the band?
I believe Barbecue has the piano. That was
perfect. We'll just put that on wheels. I saw somebody in chat plays the kazoo. I mean, this could go to so many places. I'm just glad to hear you laughing and not. It bothers me. It makes me sad for you, and I understand why. But it makes me sad when you get really angry, because it's not worth your peace. And but I completely get it. I understand it. No, no disrespect. It's just, it's like, oh man, don't let this ruin your peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, food too. Everybody gets a Philly cheesesteak. But then you have to learn, how, I forgot to tell you this part. I played part of your, one of your videos for my family. And one of my uncles said, you speak in Philly cursive.
Philly cursive. I love that.
Yeah. You speak in Philly cursive. He said everybody in Philly speaks in cursive. This coming from somebody who lived in Brooklyn. So I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny. He's got a very thick accent. You can play the violin, Tinkerbug. You've got a group. You want to do the tour of Everything is Sunny in Philly? That's funny. Philly's nice. You guys should come. You really should.
Philly is really nice, and hopefully it's like during the spring where it's not too hot, it's not too cold,
You can do the museums. Great museums. Tons of fun.
Oh, yeah. Look at this. I checked out Granny because of BJ crying about being bullied. That's why you bullied me. And I realized I really like her. A lot of my subs came that way, and I really do appreciate all of you. That's the thing, though. And even you, Tia, have been around long enough that you have seen all of this. When it really comes down to it, I was not paying Brittany any attention for her to throw me into this frivolous filing. I guarantee what it was one of Brittany's little fucking subscribers, I believe they said it was Emmy Joe, notified Nick that I'm Delaware County. And Nick thought, oh, great, we can get her. And then that person was probably like, oh, yeah, she tormented poor Brittany. And they convinced her to file this frivolous fucking thing against me. When all actuality, go back over the past year or 2 years and see who was really coming for who.
Check back chat.
See? And all of that could be used against her. And Brittany, I don't think Brittany realizes, but your messages, your communications, your little mod groups are all going to be deposed. Your little discords, all of those are going to be deposed, and you have no choice but to present them.
No, you don't have to drop my link. I didn't come up here for that.
No, it's okay, but I was. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see back chat?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
sure
interesting. Mm-hmm.
Brittany's been obsessed with me for years. There was this creator that did what she called a round table to try to bring all of us together. And on that round table, once again, I had it out with Brittany. I'll make a deal. You don't say my name, I won't say yours, la-di-da. Brittany agreed. At some point, I finally said to her, like, you speak about me every single day for at least this past month, Brittany, and I do not mention you. And she finally admitted it. And I have that recorded somewhere, and I'll play that too. But Brittany's been like hard on for me since the day I started a channel.
She has. And we were friends with her back then. Wait,
She sure
I missed
did.
something there.
Sage Cheech, a lot of people. Well, thank you guys for coming to take a look on your own and not listening to
Oh, that's good.
little crybaby Brittany.
That's good though, because people are seeing, they have their own minds. You're not just it's not an echo chamber like it is over there.
No, it's not.
It's ridiculous over there. You cannot disagree with anything. And I remember that round table. That was
and then
something.
she left off that and went right over to Jamie's panel and started talking shit again, just like she's always done. She's always been a fucking insecure piece of shit. And that is my opinion, and I'm allowed to have it.
Well, I'll tell you what she did with me. She had a group of a mod chat. We were not in that mod chat, which thank God. Oh my Jesus, thank God. We were in our own separate, but she would say things to us, have conversations and be on Zoom with us, and then go to her mod chat and bitch about everything we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know this. I was truly trying to help her get into true crime. That's why we were there. That was the only reason we were there, was to help her break into true crime. And we kept telling her, like, stop, ignore the drama, just do the true crime, ignore the drama. Of course, to this day, she still doesn't ignore the drama.
She is the drama.
It absolutely is the drama, 100%. And I know, Heather Bratt, right?
And I think that's what pisses me off too, because she'll sit over there and be like, "Yo, I don't go real life. This is as far real life as one could fucking go. Like, this has invaded every aspect of my life. To say this isn't real life, I don't go real life. You did go real life, and you did so on the back of a missing child. How fucking dare you?"
Amy, I remember when Tia was up on panel and let the smackdown on Snoozy. I tried to help her. And to be honest with you, when we left all of us. There was 10 of us that left.
That's how it always is. A big group leaves together.
In one live at the very same time. All of us saw something that we were like, nah, this ain't cool anymore. And I had my feelings before, but it was that turned me, and I was like, nope, don't want any part of this anymore. You want to play victim. Just do it on your own time. Don't use Decipher as any, nope.
Yep.
Nonsense. Not only is she going real life on you, but she probably goes after the parents of missing children too. Oh, I'm not saying that's the worst part, but it really kind of is. The worst part about this whole thing is her using Sebastian as her. Well, what did she say? Was it last night or the night before? The whole reason I'm doing this is because I want Granny to leave me alone.
Right. Yet the entire filing, they presented it as being for the benefit of Sebastian. And yet you have her admitting over there, well, I joined in on the RICO because of bullying and harassment. Well, look up what the predicate acts for RICO are, and you won't see bullying and harassment as predicate acts. So try again.
Well, and I really hope that nobody comes forward from years ago with any information where she mentioned you.
Yep.
I would.
Oh, I've already received plenty. I've received plenty of her
Good.
tours. I've received plenty of her private communications. I've received plenty of her being on panels with people. I've received plenty of it.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Your attorney is going to be so busy.
Yep. Yep.
But
And
it's
he
all
needs to.
good. It's all good because the more you bring in, the better it is. So now that they've denied everything, they've rejected everything.
But
Do
that was
they?
because of procedural, not because it was like rejected
Okay.
entirely. It wasn't, the motion was not denied by a judge. They
It was just
procedurally,
got you.
yeah, like the law clerk, there's things they've done wrong, which could be like the caption, verifications, lack of signature, the lettering, the size of the lettering, like things like that could be why. I actually know why it's wrong, but I'm not going to tell
Yeah,
them.
don't tell. Yeah, of course. Of
Um,
course.
But those are the type of reasons. So the idea that like the injunction was denied is not true.
Okay. So they have to go back and redo. And then because we all know when
Mhm.
that's actually rejected, then you turn around and file yours. Is that how that works?
Yes, yeah, the countersuits come in.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Now, will it really take as long as Fisher said?
No, it shouldn't.
Sweet.
Yeah,
That's good news.
it
That's really
shouldn't take that long.
okay. That's good news. I don't need any time frames or anything. I was just a little appalled at I was like, oh shit. That's a
Yeah,
really
I mean,
long
it's
time.
not going to be quick. It's not going to be like, oh, in the next 3 months. I mean, the next
Yeah.
3 months, this this part of it might be tied up with a pretty little bow.
Mhm. And will
But
you
yeah,
have to go to court for that? Or
oh
will that
yeah,
just be
I'll be wanting to go to court for that.
okay? Well, just message me or email me with information when you go so that we can make sure that we cover that for you.
Yeah, and I would love. I'm hoping my attorney sees to it that they all have to come because that's a right we have. We have a right to face our accusers in the courtroom.
I hate to be juvenile, but they started it.
Right. They did start it and they signed to my jurisdiction. Now, it had
Yeah.
nothing to do with deadlines. When it comes, because I've seen people say that too, like, well, they filed it late, so it was denied. No, that's up to our attorneys to argue the fact that they filed it late. It's not up to the courts to decide until our attorneys bring that argument forth, right? Like, if they filed it, they're still late. So they're now at this point over 2.5 weeks late on responding to the deadline that was set forth. So when they do respond, it's up to our attorneys to either decide that, you know, it's late and put in an argument for that, saying, like, this created prejudice because they filed it, 3 weeks past the deadline, or we can let it go through and we can hit them with something else. It depends how brilliantly worded it will be if we want it to be seen by the judge or not.
And this is, I just want to understand this. This is costing you every day, basically, because you're in contact with your attorney every day.
Mm-hmm.
So this costs you every time he dips in and texts and messages and emails and stuff like that. Is that correct?
No, I'm not on an hourly wage.
Oh, okay. But in return, these people will have to pay for that because
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay. All right.
Like, I'm seeking back, even if they dismiss this right here, like if they dismiss their injunction and complaint, we're still seeking back as part of the judge's judgment, our attorney fees, plus whatever damages the courts may find, which is where, I mean, we're going to argue the actual, there's a few
Of
options
course.
we have. We can do the anti-SLAPP, we can do a Dragonetti, we can do counterclaims of defamation.
I swear the mob wrote these laws. I swear.
Yeah.
The clean hands, the Dragonetti.
I
Oh my
honestly,
God.
Geno's
Oh,
sucks. I would never go to Geno's. Beast Mile, they're like the worst cheesesteak place.
where's the best?
Honestly, outside of, well, there's one under this little train thing in
Mhm,
Philly.
mhm.
That's one of the best ones. But other than that, like, honestly, the best cheesesteaks you're going to get is right outside the border of Philadelphia.
Really?
We have some really good, but I don't like Geno's at all. Ugh, they don't even chop their steak up.
What?
Mm.
That's
Yeah, it's
weird.
like they just kind of like folded and I don't like
Nah,
it.
no, we're not steakums over here. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Oh, Cindy, I'm glad that could help. What is a dragon, Eddie? Dragon is well, it's called the Dragon Eddie Act. I guess that's the way I'm saying it as Eddie. I don't know how to say it right. It's a Pennsylvania law that allows people to sue those who have brought frivolous lawsuits against them. The act is also known as the Wrongful Use of Civil Proceedings Act. The act allows defendants to sue those who brought the lawsuit against them if the lawsuit was brought without probable cause or for an improper reason. The defendant must have won the original lawsuit. The act can be used to sue lawyers, law firms, and clients. So there you go, Lasniak and Castor. What can a plaintiff recover? Harm to reputation, emotional distress, attorney's fees, other financial losses, and punitive damages. Is when someone uses the legal system to harass or intimidate another person. When someone uses the legal system to waste the time of another person. When someone uses the legal system to force another person to spend money. Put a 1 in the chat if you've heard Betty say she's going to make people waste money via the legal systems.
We just checked all the boxes, though. Everything you just like
Everything.
just ticked off every box there.
Every single box.
Would
Yeah,
you
I'm gonna
invite me to your beach house?
You're more than welcome to come.
Granny, did your lawyer take this on that's not
No.
nobody's business. We're not talking. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
answer. I know.
Can't talk. Can't say. I want to see her do a well, I was talking about that with LFT actually. What happens when she does realize how fucked she is?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Like
Maybe she'll finally wake up.
well, that could be taken in terms I don't even know.
Mhm.
Like I say the same thing about Sebastian coming home. What does that look like for them?
Well, here's my first question, right? Do we really believe that Brittany doesn't realize yet that she's been totally bamboozled and that she's fucked? Do you guys really think that she doesn't realize that? You'd have to be a real idiot not to realize that. I mean, I know she acts like she's not worried and all that, but you got to remember, she also signed an NDA. Allegedly, apparently, supposedly, she signed an NDA with them that she will not disparage them in any way. So even if she was afraid, even if she knew she was fucked, she's not going to admit that out loud. Plus, she's too prideful.
Well, I've heard the stress in her voice.
Yeah. I mean,
You can hear it.
tell.
You can hear it. And I would say last night and the night before, there's a lot of stress in her voice when she says she's not worried. Most people are like, whatever. I'm not worried about it. It'll be fine. She's like, I'm not worried.
Right. I'm not worried about it. What if Betty's in jail? Well, that just goes to show that the plaintiffs all come with dirty hands. Like they're just, you got one on parole. You got one facing criminal charges for breaking protective orders that were given during this case by these people that claim that they are, legally and professionally searching for this missing child. How? When one of your plaintiffs aren't even allowed to mention this missing child.
How? When two of the plaintiffs are in a different state? How are you searching? What are you doing?
None of them were in Tennessee.
I know.
One in Tennessee is Seth, and we're not even sure that he's.
Well, we're not sure he's there, is he? Are we? Like, we don't know where he is. He could be anywhere. But
I mean, if this plays out the way that we expect it to, there's a possibility that Brittany's looking at jail time for being part of a RICO. Remember
No.
we said we were facing 20 years in jail?
Jinkies.
But that's if RICO goes through and, prosecutors of PA decide they want to pick it up. As for Betty, if Betty gets arrested come like November or whatever, she'll just get served in jail. The case goes on.
Damn. You know what I'm glad of? I'm glad we never worked on this case.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really glad. I'm glad that we can be objective from the outside and see what's actually going on. And anyone who has, and I'm not, listen, I wasn't going to say, but anyone who has half a brain, stop accusing the Proudfoots of anything.
Yeah, they're doing it on purpose, though. I think Britney's playing dumb. I think Britney's not the smartest, person, but I also think to an extent she plays really fucking naive because I've spoken with Britney like as a quote unquote friend. I know how diabolical she is. I know how
Cunning.
conniving she is.
She is cunning.
She's very cunning.
She looks at things from from a way different headspace than I do. Mm-mm.
Because she's dark. So she thinks
Yeah.
everybody's doing what she would be doing.
And all the praying in the world is not going to get you out of this one, love. Sorry.
No.
You can pray, you can hold your church service every night. She's absolutely cunning. Yeah, that Aaron, I just think that's the best word. She plays dumb, but she knows exactly what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
She's grown her channel. And I'm going to say this, I'll say allegedly, based on theories and rumors. There's been zero fact. We go back to Kylie Rodney. That was just messy. That was absolutely messy. And she couldn't stop covering that. Idaho 4, same thing. We're all about the conspiracy theories. We're all about the theories. We're not in there for the facts. And she's found a group of people who like that, who like the storytelling, who like the drama. And that's what that is. That's drama. Oh, hi, Nonsense. Sorry.
No, you're good. Good morning.
Hello.
Do you know that Betty's so stupid? She wants to accuse people so badly of being JLR or being SF because in her mind, she really believes that there's this big RICO going on, that she doesn't even have the intelligence level to type in somebody's name off of X onto YouTube and see that they're an actual fucking person.
Well, that would take work.
She'd
I
probably
mean-
have to roll out of bed for that one.
It's just truly baffling.
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find. There's something I want to read really quick, though. To people. These dang. Okay. The declaration. The declaration. I, BJ, being duly sworn according to law, hereby depose and affirm the following. Okay. This part. Number 2. I am writing this declaration not as a lawyer or someone engaged in a legal dispute, but as a mother and a human being who has endured unimaginable pain, fear, and suffering due to the relentless harassment and defamation perpetrated by Granny, known as Granny's Watching, along with her friends, followers, and cult-like network. What they have done has torn apart not just my professional life, but my personal life as a mother, a daughter, and a person who values kindness, honesty, and peace. I have lost count of the number of times I've woken up in a cold sweat nightly on stream.
Right.
Back to the focus. Terrified that someone might follow through on the threats that Granny and her followers have made against me. She
can't show any. She can't show any, by the way.
Well,
Or
she didn't
what?
Yeah. She didn't just stop at insults or gossip. She looked straight into her camera and told me, I will make you a fucking victim. These words haunt me.
Can I state really quick?
Go
The
ahead.
beginning of that whole thing was, Brittany, leave me the fuck alone. You so badly want my attention. You so badly want to make me a big bad wolf in your little fucking world. You poke at me every single day. Leave me the fuck alone, or I will do to you what you and your cohorts have done to me and go at you every single day. You so badly want to be a victim, I will make you one. That is the direct quote unquote of what they fucking put there. What does that tell you? To me, it sounds like I'm saying, leave me the fuck alone. But they didn't put all of that. Wonder why not?
Well, no. But it goes on to say, these words haunt me. It's not just fear for myself. It's the gut-wrenching fear that I might not be able to protect my children.
Well, that's
How
pathetic.
can I explain to my kids that their mother is being targeted by strangers on the internet? People who seem intent on ruining lives. I try to hold it together for them, but inside I am broken.
How do I explain to my kids that I'm being sued by Dog the fucking Bounty Hunter and a bunch of other criminals because
Yeah.
of what I do online. How do I explain that to my kids when it's in their fucking backyard? How dare you? How
Your
dare you?
kids don't matter to her.
No, of
Nothing
course.
matters but her.
Well, let's be honest. Do hers matter to her? Because if I wrote such declarations like this, I'd be fucking embarrassed to admit that I chose YouTube over the safety of my fucking children. Okay? I would be humiliated to ever come forward and say that what I'm doing online has brought so much mental distress to my own fucking kids, but yet here I am night after night with one of them telling me to wake up in the background. I'd be fucking mortified. I'd also be called out for being a piece of shit mother. Okay?
Well, and she uses YouTube to examine or measure her life. If I
Unbelievable.
ever, so help me Jesus, anyone in here, I don't care who it is, if I ever start measuring my life with YouTube, pull the plug.
Right, log off. That's what the
fucking
judge is
plug.
going to say. Ma'am, what did you do to diminish these personal distressors of yours that you're claiming? What steps did you take to protect yourself, your mental health, and that of your children? Because guess what? Granny's fucking watching isn't responsible for it. Period. End of.
No, and she's got a lot to prove, especially I just saw LFT write the FOIA. No one FOIA'd your address.
Nope, she can't even prove that. She can't even prove that. Especially saying I FOIA'd it before this litigation, prove it. And again, then point me to what case law in Pennsylvania makes that illegal. The judge is going to love your reasoning for why you joined this, Brittany.
Sorry,
They're going to love
nonsense.
it.
Go ahead.
Sorry, nonsense. I do apologize.
No,
too.
don't apologize to me. Can I address why does it seem every time nonsense comes up on a panel to stir shit and then drops down right after? I'm reading directly from the declaration made by Brittany J. So if this is stirring shit, tell her probably not to write this in legal documents and submit it as an exhibit.
This
Go
is
ahead.
important for people to remember exactly what Brittany put as her claims on these allegations. It is important for people to grasp how dramatic she wrote these.
That's exactly why I'm doing it. It's not to stir shit because I support Granny fully in what she is doing, and there's no question about that. The words Granny uses to describe me, quote,
I love
a
this one.
lazy, wasteful piece of shit, end quote, aren't just casual insults. They cut to the core of my identity as a mother.
She identifies as a wasteful, lazy piece of shit.
Jesus.
Sorry,
No,
nonsense.
it's just
Does she realize
astounding.
that?
Like, what the hell did she write?
Does she realize that she basically just said, this is exactly who I am because it hits to the core of my identity?
They cut to the core of my identity as a mother who works hard to give my children the love and stability they deserve. When she says these things publicly in front of thousands of people, I feel the walls of my world closing in. My children have seen me cry because of these things. I try to hide it, but they notice. How can a mother explain that strangers are attacking her, saying horrible things, calling her names, and trying to destroy the life she's worked so hard to build? The most painful part has been watching my children ask if they are safe. Granny and her associates even implied that I neglect or harm my children, saying things like, quote, you won't ever catch me driving with my children unbuckled standing up, end quote. These comments go beyond personal. They attack my ability to be a good mother.
Oh, well, strap those little tigers in and we won't have that bad mother situation.
I've spent sleepless nights wondering if someone might actually believe those lies and come after me or worse, my children. As a mother, there is no greater terror than the thought of your children being hurt because of the lies and hate spread by strangers. This campaign of hate has also impacted me financially. Before this started, I was proud of the work I did. I was able to support my family. Now, people who once trusted me no longer want to work with me. The lies, the accusations, the threats, they've destroyed the professional relationships I've worked years to build. And the worst part is, I'm not just losing business, I'm losing the ability to provide for my children. How am I supposed to rebuild my career when my reputation has been torn apart by people who don't even know me?
Welcome to YouTube.
Does that means that I showed pretty damn good receipts on who you were? Secondly, you lost over 140 plus moderators, and if I have to have some of your ex moderators as witnesses to the way you treat and act people, especially behind the scenes, I will. Secondly, you were proud of the fact that you told Kylie Rodney's mother to fuck off when she asked you to respectfully stop with your speculation around her teenage daughter's death and to digging into her teenage daughter's friends. The rest of it just went right out my head, so I don't even know what else she said. But no, she's lost money over it. You lost money over it. I got you December of 2023 showing your studio. You're making under $3,000. I got you recently of 2024 showing that you're now making over 5K.
Oh, so she's increased the money.
She's increased in money.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Jeez, that's
And
gonna.
does she realize that all of this will be now you have to bring up your finances will be deposed, including your Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, and any bank accounts of those living underneath the same household as a joint income. But go on, girl. Tell us about how you lost money.
Well, I can tell you about her mental health because she says in part 12 on page 4 of her declaration, my mental health has been shattered by this. Every day I wake up with a knot in my stomach, wondering what the new attack will come. I'm exhausted, not just physically, but emotionally. I feel like I'm constantly walking on eggshells, afraid the one wrong move will lead to more lies, more harassment, more attacks. This anxiety doesn't just affect me, it affects my family. My children have seen me cry more in the past year than I care to admit. I've had to cancel family outings, miss important moments, and withdraw from people I love because I'm consumed by the fear and stress of what might happen next. At times, I've broken down completely. I've sat in my car in the driveway of my own home and just cried because I don't know how to protect myself or my family from this kind of hate. I'm a
my
mother.
God. Slow down really quick. Can anybody suggest to Brittany how you protect yourself from invisible online hate?
Wait,
Hazel Eyes got it. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, don't look at the chat.
Hazel Eyes got it. That's what we want.
She got it. All right.
Damn.
Thought so. Okay. The moment I ever come online and admit that I stopped going, listen, even through all of this and the stress it has done to me, I swear to God, I still show up. Albeit I was late because I did actually sit in a car and cry. I still show up for my fucking children.
By the way, that's just one of her channels. She's got 2 monetized channels for the person in the chat saying that's just on one of her channels.
Yeah, she has a second one. It's her drama channel where you should really see the filth she spewed about me that she thinks is gone. Sorry to interrupt again, but the fucking nerve.
No, you're
Like,
good. This is why, a lot of people have not heard this or read what is being said. Like, there is when you read the complaints, the affidavits, what they're actually alleging in the complaint versus the affidavits, they don't match up at all. She goes on like,
well, how about if you don't want to fuck around and find out, you don't fuck around? How many times has Brittany poked at me, spoke on me, advertising channels such as Moons, Brittany, which is being used against you, dumbass. But make besties with people that never liked you simply because they're going at me. How many panels did you sit on with TT and over at Kim and Crafton's and all, going at me all summer? Matter of fact, you and Angela didn't even have a relationship until Angela went at me. Are you fucking serious? Now show me one fucking time I've advertised anybody's go over to a channel that was dragging her for the filth she is. And by the way, did anybody hear anything about RICO in any of those declarations?
No.
Okay. Sorry. Please go on nonsense and read for the crowd this dramatic Lifetime script. Maybe we'll submit it.
Let's see. Where am I at? Oh, I'm a mother just trying to raise my children and do best for them. I've had to tell my kids why people are saying horrible things about their mom online. I've tried to shield them, but it's impossible when this campaign of hate is so public and so vicious. Your Honor, as I sit here writing this, I'm asking you, not as a plaintiff, but as a mother who is desperate to feel safe again. I want to wake up one morning without the fear of what might be said about me, or worse, what might be done to me or my family. I just want to live my life, raise my children, and provide for them without this cloud of fear or hatred hanging over me. I'm asking for justice, not just for me, but for my children who have seen their mother's spirit broken by the relentless cruelty of strangers. I, BJ, am not just fighting to clear my name, but to protect my family from the very real and ongoing threats that this coordinated campaign of harassment has caused. The psychological, emotional, and financial damage has left scars that may never fully heal. I am pleading with this court to recognize the very real harm that these actions have inflicted on me and my children, and to hold those responsible accountable for their destruction they have caused. I, BJ, swear and affirm and verify under penalty of perjury under the laws of the United States of America relating to unsworn declarations under penalty of perjury, the Commonwealth of PA, the state of Tennessee, the state of New York, the state of Florida, relating to verification of documents under penalty of perjury, that the foregoing is true and correct. I understand that false statements herein are made subject to penalties of perjury and other applicable laws. Signed, BJ.
Damn. Genevieve said, where'd it go? Does she even know what it mean? What RICO means? No, because she's in it for just her portion is just Granny.
Do you know that she's literally said that? Thank you, note to self and Jen. Thank you, Tia. Thank you.
Yeah, she said it.
She said that nothing anybody else wrote matters. She simply, it's just her section against me that matters. She really believes that. She really believes that. That is so cute. Oh.
What's cute is her little section is getting everyone else sued.
Right. This is where the counter comes in for all of you.
So your little free section, because it was free, that little because it was free, because of that, everyone else is going to pay. I hope you realize that, Brittany.
I just thought it would be important for people to remember what she's actually said in these documents and what they actually claimed and alleged against these people, because you tell me how that fits a RICO claim in racketeering. You tell me that she's not asking this as anything, a legal plaintiff, not somebody involved in a legal filing, even though that's what she was writing, but as a mother. So
look at this.
All of that screams log off. All of it.
All of it.
Yeah.
And over here, is harassment a predicate act for RICO? No. Harassment is not considered a predicate act under the RICO Act, meaning it cannot be used as a basis to bring a RICO charge unless it's part of a larger pattern of criminal activity that meets RICO definition of racketeering activity. So the other thing was defamation. She said she signed in on this because of defamation and harassment. Oh, look at that. Defamation is also not a predicate act. Wow, interesting.
Dot on the back of Sebastian Rogers. I keep saying that because
it's important that people remember that.
Yeah, I think, and not to diminish, what you're going through, Granny.
No,
to be fair,
I'm not going through anything compared to this family.
All of the things that she writes in her declaration can also, Granny can say the same things, but she doesn't. She's keeping it to YouTube. None of the, I can't, my ability to be a mother, my self-esteem, no, girl.
No, I know. Stop. I know. Beer Can, I just saw your PayPal. Thank you. Yeah, but you get 2 more people together now. It is a RICO. No, it's not. I heard the word when I was standing outside the door of Pat's RV. I don't know what Pat's RV is, but no. It doesn't matter if you have 5 people together creating what you consider to be harassment or defamation. It will never be a predicate act for RICO. Matter of fact, if anything, the more time that has gone on in this, the more we have seen who has more predicate acts of RICO. And it certainly isn't me and or barbecue.
Yeah, but don't worry, she's not involved in the full filing. She's just involved in that one little section. She doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the filing. She just wants to be left alone. Just that. That's all. She doesn't. Yeah, she's not scared at all either. She's just recently said she's not scared. She's got it all under control. She's got proof to back all this up. Meanwhile, missing the big point that they don't even know who the frick is representing them at this point. They don't even have a clue. It says in their little press release that Bruce Castor is repping them. And then come to find out he doesn't even know what the heck's going on, or does he? Who knows? They don't even have a clue.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, I spoke to my attorney because remember B. Tim brought up, because Brittany, as mentioned here, brought her children into this by claiming, basically emotional distress of them and everything. Does that mean that they, their documents and or they could be cross-examined? And the answer is yes, they could. Now, a lot of times, especially if you're not dealing with a slime ball attorney, I don't know, somebody by the name of Lasniak, attorneys don't like to bring children into it because it's sad to say some strangers care more about the safety of children than those that are meant to. But so yes, technically, if we decide to, we can absolutely depose the medical records of her children and all that to prove that they've faced any harm from this. But in all actuality, the reality is it more than likely will not be necessary because they can't meet their predicate acts for RICO. They can't prove the claims they put against us. And they have to prove all of them. I want people to remember that. Every single claim they have made, from defamation, harassment, everything right down to racketeering, to ruining business relations, all of that. They have to prove every single one, not just one, not one of 8, every single one. If there's one that they can't prove, bye-bye. So.
Before I hop out of here, I just wanted to come up and read that little part because a lot of people have not gone and read this stuff or listened to what it actually says. And it's so important for people to understand what is actually being claimed here because it's ridiculous. But before I hop out, don't forget, just because somebody offers you to be a part of something like this and says, it's free.
It's free.
It doesn't.
Like from Luigi, Mario.
Yeah.
It's free.
It's free. Chances are it's probably not going to be free, and it might come with some hefty consequences. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. See you later.
Bye.
Why nonsense?
Do you think the part where she says, I lost count of the number of times I've woken up in a cold sweat, terrified that someone might follow through on the threats that Jessica and her followers have made against me? For one, she has to prove these threats, and me just looking in the camera saying, I will make you a fucking victim is not good enough. And I know you looked really hard. You guys looked really hard for weeks for anything, and you're still looking. You won't find it. But could that be because you're sleeping during the day? Maybe the sunlight's coming through, so you're waking up sweating from that? I don't know. Because you sure as hell ain't sleeping you're sleeping while you're live. Maybe that's why. Maybe you wake up sweating because you realize your live stream's still going and people are, kind of wondering where you're at. I don't know.
Well, we should be at the 6-month turnover, so we'll see the new mods coming in and some of the old ones going out soon.
Well, they kind of just had that happen with Eddie and everything. That was right on.
That was on cue, wasn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It actually was. And then she lost quite a few. I believe it was July. She had a big group leave.
Oh, she did? Yeah, I didn't watch.
Yeah. That's how I know that Yvette has her minor recording my live streams. And then Brittany went and solidified that everything I was given was factual by admitting that she knows there's a mole and confirming the whole, well, Yvette only did that one time. So she
ouch.
Yeah, that's what people talk to.
I only robbed a bank one time.
Right.
I only shot one time. It's just
right. It's like, and then how about this? They've destroyed the professional relationships I worked years to build. You name me one professional relationship she has had. Like other YouTubers, your relationships with like the people you're now back to hate bonding with, they're not professional. But this part, I'm not just losing business. I'm losing ability to provide for my children. I'm going to say this out loud, and I really shouldn't, but this whole thing sounds like maybe somebody needs to take a little deeper investigation into what's going on. That's how I read it. Like you're basically admitting that you are incapable of doing your everyday duties.
Well,
Sorry.
I mean, I think, maybe you need a part-time job to supplement what you're missing, and really that would just mean you would be out of the drama chats for 3 to 4 hours a day.
Yeah, like the one you were in last night, Brittany.
Where was she?
Loons, where allegations of me having STDs and stuff were flown, and thanks to Brittany and what I played earlier, and yeah,
that was in Loon's chat.
No, that one wasn't. No. But that's where those lies all stem from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't go over there. That's one.
Nobody should. It's absolute trash in there.
Oh, that's awful. I will jump down. Sorry, I didn't mean to take up all your time.
No, you're fine.
It was a pleasure talking to you, and of course, I wish you the best of luck, which you don't need. But
I appreciate that. Thank you.
We'll see you. We'll be quiet. Our heads will be down. We'll just be taking our notes.
I do appreciate that.
Let us know if you need
You know, Robert, that's actually funny. Do you wonder if maybe the fact that she's literally snoring and sounded like an actual demon is looking to escape her while she's live streaming might be the reason she lost any resemblance of professional?
I mean, I think that's
That could do it, right?
anybody who falls asleep on their own stream, first of all,
Ugh, night
in
after night.
mid-sentence,
Literally
probably
mid-sentence.
should probably log off.
Yeah, like not saw logs while you're there, but actually log off.
Log off.
Like, it
right?
was bad too, like, genuinely, I'm not even joking, I was genuinely concerned, and I was like, "Oh my god," like, I kind of feel bad, this is scary, it's scary to listen to,
Well, I
and
think she drops her head, and then that impedes, with her, she has some breathing issues, I think.
Yeah, well,
And
she's overweight, and she's obviously out of shape.
and then when you drop your head, you start that
That
noise.
trying to yeah.
Name yourself, demon.
That's exactly what I think of, but then at the same time, I'm like, "Man, this" and for adults, if that's kinda, like, breathtaking, a little scary, imagine how it is for the kids wide awake in the background. That has to be terrifying. Matter of
I
fact, we heard the panic in one when they were like, "Mom, mom, mom, wake up, you're snoring. You have to stay awake. Mom, mommy." We heard the panic.
Yeah, I mean, I try to stay so far away from the kid thing.
I do. I get it. I understand it. But, I don't ever like to pry in what people's household and their children and all that's off limits. But when this is happening publicly, I'll
I
be damned if I'm going to pretend I don't hear it. I do.
I agree, and that's the thing. She says, "Don't bring my kids up,
Well,
and
then,
don't put them online." And also, Brittany, let me just state this for you because you seem to think that you have your own little clubhouse with walls.
right.
It's a
Like, you're not
public
on a private fucking
platform.
phone call. Even
No,
behind a members only paywall, you're
nope,
still in the public domain.
you are. And you have to stop saying things like, "Come in and, talk to my subscribers," and
It's fucking
it's not
weird.
yours.
Right.
You
Right.
you could be, it doesn't matter if it's YouTube, you could be standing on steps outside with a bullhorn. It's still fucking public.
It's no different. And then listen, here's the other thing, right? When you make a YouTube channel, you are standing on a stage. If you don't like the tomatoes being thrown, step off the public stage. And that does
Yeah.
not consist of putting behind a paywall. And for fuck's sake, somebody watching a public stream is not stalking.
No, that's a very good point. That is a very good point. We
Yeah.
need her to write that one down and put it on a sticky note in front of her little monitor there, that it's not stalking. And they have trolled her live. It's not
Right. It's
trolling
not
when you
trolling.
go in and disagree. I have disagreed respectfully with creators and said, "I don't agree with what you're saying, but I get this is your channel and you may have more information than I, whatever.
Right.
It's not trolling."
It's not trolling. It's not.
That means you have an echo chamber in your clubhouse.
And not every single person that disagrees with you is simply because of me, when you obviously have controversy with many, including 140 plus ex moderators and or supporters of your channel. That's just
Mhm.
moderators, folks. That's not regular subscribers that have given up. That is simply moderators. And as channel owners, moderators are as close to us as anybody could ever be. They are personal, close relationships that she has lost over a short period of time. 140 plus.
Some have invested, personal, and I'm not saying me, but there are many who invested personal time, money. I don't even want to get into that,
Yep.
but invested a lot in Brittany and her channel. And oh, by the way, let me state this before I
Which
hop
never
down.
gets appreciated. Look what she did to Big Al. Big Al used to gift her tons of memberships. He offered to
Oh, I
buy her a
know.
computer. They helped. How many people bought her tires? And then
How
she
many people
turned
bought
around
her
and
computers?
yep. And then because Big Al was a man, she turned around and made the he made me feel uncomfortable thing. That was so fucked.
That was so fucked. I agree.
Sorry,
I
what were you
agree.
going to say about the whole money?
What was I going to say about what?
Money. You said something about money.
I can't remember. The Big Al thing threw me. And then I start reading chat. I have ADD, so I have no idea. It wasn't important. It just, I don't know. She's she's a mess. And
She is a mess. Look at this one. There's at least one video where Brittany was taking names in her chat of people who posted things she didn't agree with. She tried to scare people off and turn them in. Yeah.
oh, I know what I was going to say. If you guys think that her falling asleep is new, you're dead wrong.
I know. Can we get... Do you know where that video is?
There's
Okay.
quite a few.
Gary, I can't imagine anybody would want that. Well, there was a video made that was past a year ago of her falling asleep.
Well, she fell asleep on panel when we were mods, back when it was right after. Do you remember Jennifer the Hooligan?
She was yes. Yes.
Okay. She was awesome. Really awesome. She was Brittany's co-host at the time. And we were up there and Brittany fell asleep. And we didn't know what to do because she fell asleep on her own panel and no one had control except her. And this was probably 3 years ago. So, I mean, we all, being good friends and mods, we monitored her channel all night long till she finally woke up at 6 a.m. and turned it off.
Wow.
Oh, there you go. She fell asleep putting the boys down and didn't come back to stream. But she did it more than once. So if you think that, and by the way, Brittany, if you think that I can't prove it, you're dead ass wrong.
Right.
So I'm not making allegations I can't prove. I was there. It was on a public stream. And I'm sure it's out there. It happened twice when we were mods for her where she fell asleep.
Well, I played a stream where we're going back years now. 3 years ago, we were on the Alicia's page, and Brittany came up to argue with me, saying I broke girl code. And during that time, you hear utter panic ensue and banging and screaming, saying, "You promised not to lock the door." Now, she went on to try to lie and say that the one child locked the other child out because they were outside playing. The only thing she forgotten is it was December. And it was well after midnight, my time, which means it was later, her time. So you mean to tell me after midnight in December, you had your kids outside playing? Okay.
No, she's the same time we are.
Thank you, Rebecca. Oh, she is. Okay. So it was well after midnight then.
Right.
Nonetheless, they weren't, that's even worse then. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. This whole mid-sentence thing does appear worse.
No. Yeah.
No, you don't think so?
No, it is.
It is worse. And it's more obvious. And I know some people think that she's doing it to kind of like troll or whatever. I don't think so. I think she's used that now to try to play it off. But I don't think there's nothing. I mean, again, Cam and Allie started this way, okay? Right. I haven't fallen asleep in 2 weeks. Like, why is that even something to announce out loud and like be proud of? You're responsible for the safety of others. And you think it's cute to joke around that you haven't fallen asleep in 2 weeks?
And by the way, why haven't you just admitted that wasn't your son who fell asleep months ago?
Remember that when she did the whole, my headphones disconnect to whatever device I'm closest to?
I'm sorry.
Which doesn't happen.
Don't blame that baby. Don't blame that baby. Don't put that on him.
And kids aren't snoring like that. That is some demonic shit.
That is some demonic shit.
It is.
I agree.
No, it's not trolling. And if anything, that is one you're trolling at, again, the risk and safety of your children. So is it really funny? No, it's not a troll. You can't even make up that type of fucking demonic snoring. I'm sorry. That is not a troll. That's what she does. She comes out to lie, makes up this elaborate lie. When she gets caught in a lie, like the fact that Jay pointed out, okay, then how can we only hear the snoring when you're not talking? If it was somebody in the background, you'd hear it all the time. Well, then it turns to another elaborate lie, and then she finally missed the truth. Right, like the ghost.
But only if you corner her.
Right.
It
Only
shouldn't
if-
be like that.
No, but she's a pathological fucking liar. So it's not surprising to me. I mean,
Well, no.
The
snoring stopped when she woke up. True story.
Right, that's what I'm saying. She does. She uses her kids as a shield and then says, don't speak on my kids. We're not speaking on them. We're speaking on you and what you allow the public to hear, making it, therefore, public speculation. Again, like we just said, you're on a fucking stage, stand in front of the world. If you don't like it, get off the stage. But I'm not going to play by internet rules of, oh, we don't speak about the children. And her shielding herself constantly from them when we're not speaking on your children. We're speaking on you as the alleged mother and what you're not or are doing. And I'm
Well, that's
sorry,
what she
but
did. She came on as a mother.
right. She was going to be an autism awareness channel.
Yeah. Let me see how that went.
And I'm sorry, and I know some may disagree, but I find it utterly disturbing that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m. children are awake on weekdays. If every other weekend, I mean, even my son, if I wake up on a Saturday and I see he's still on a computer or he's still awake at 2 a.m., I'm telling him to log off and get to bed. I'm not allowing them to have free-for-alls all weekend, but this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You mean to tell me that in a few hours after she's sitting there snoring like a demon from hell, she's now driving a vehicle to take these kids that have been up all night to school? People may not like what I'm saying, but this is the reality of it. And again, pretend little internet rules are not going to make me pretend to be ignorant to the obvious.
Well, and the children are in the background. And like I
Right.
said, we try really hard not to talk about her kids because
Well, to
I'm
be fair,
super protective and, and of everyone's kids, not just, but the problem is I'm more protective of her kids than she
that
is.
she is. Right. Right.
And
And
that's,
honestly, it's not speaking on the kids, it's speaking on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that was my kids, are you kidding me? Nobody would be ignoring it. Nobody.
mm-mm.
I'm sorry. It is utterly concerning. And it is what it is. Right. And then to say she thinks the Proudfoods are bad because they didn't have cameras, but admittedly she didn't have cameras. Then to say that, oh, they had no schedule. Are you kidding me? Then
Hold
she
on.
tried. Yeah.
She said that they didn't have a schedule.
Yes. Yes. And then you know what else she tried doing? You shouldn't be concerned that you hear my kids in the background. You should be concerned that you never hear Granny's. At 8 a.m., you dumb bitch? Should they be concerned that you're not hearing my kids at 8 a.m.? Oh, okay.
Maybe because your kids are not. Nope.
Right.
Nope.
I mean,
Shut the fuck up, Tia.
maybe,
Shut the fuck up, Tia. Just leave the kid talk.
No, then she goes in and starts all those accusations against my daughter, though, saying that she's trolling as deceased kids and this and that. Fuck off. Oh, we don't talk about kids, y'all. No, again, we're talking about your lack of parenting, not your kids. Okay.
Like I said, if your kids are there, you have to handle that business. That's your business to handle, but then don't come on a lawsuit or an injunction, I'm sorry, and say, I'm entering as a mother.
Right. And then throw in your children into litigation. You literally shielded yourself via litigation by, once again, your children.
Her kids do just.
I can't name, well, maybe, perhaps a certain father, but I don't know any other good parent that is constantly shielding themselves using their children and not shielding their children using themselves.
Oh my God. True story.
It's shameful.
It is shameful. I'm going to hop down. Have a great day. Thank you for letting me stay up.
Of course. Thank you for coming up. I appreciate you.
Take care. Bye, you guys.
Bye. She has apple bottoms. She is. And you know what? She'll have to answer for that one day. Not me, not you, not the PA courts. Nobody but her will have to answer for that one day. And I await the day the judge asks me why I called her a neglectful mother, because I can stand very tall and proud and loud and state several, if not over a dozen reasons why I personally believe and stand by the fact that I think that Brittany J is a neglectful mother at minimum. At minimum is my thought, okay? And nothing's going to change that. No shaming me on the internet isn't going to change that. No saying, oh my God, Granny's attacking kids is going to change that. Nothing at all is ever going to change the way I feel. Because you know why? Because I'm not going to pretend. Because I don't want to hurt internet feelings or, little fake internet rules. Nope. The fact is the fact. And the fact is we only know what we know because Brittany allows us to hear way too much of her inner personal walls. And the fact that some of us protect our children from that doesn't mean you should be worried. You should be worried about the parents who don't. It's no better than these parents that exploit their kids for a couple dollars on the internet. That's how I feel.
Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. No, I'll stand my ground. Won't be turned around. And I'll keep this world from dragging me down. Gonna stand my ground. And I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I will stand my ground. And I won't back down. Well, I know what's right. I got just one life. In a world that keeps on pushing me around, but I'll stand my ground. And I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I will stand my ground. And I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I will stand my ground. And I won't back down. No, I won't back down.
I used to be a rolling stone, you know. If the cause was right, I'd leave to find an answer on the road. I used to be a heart beating for someone, but the times have changed. The less I say, the more my work gets done. 'Cause I live and breathe this Philadelphia freedom. From the day that I was born, I waved the flag. Philadelphia freedom took me knee high to a man. Yeah, give me a piece of